JK, I'm here. Ha ha ha. Found you. I discovered where everybody was. I found you, chat. Are you proud of me? I hope so. Make sure camera looks the way that I want it to. Hi. Oh my gosh, everybody. Welcome to the show. Let me get my chat going. Let me make sure I can see everybody. Very critical that I'm able to see everybody, including myself. All these things, very important. And there's website chat. Hello! There's Kitty and Psychoplebeian and Mabs hanging out in the website chat. Hello. Potentially 10k reasons also in here. Hello. Lux, you kind of look like a fake goth. Is that intentional? Yeah. What's really funny is, like, I had the goth phase when I was in middle and high school, which I think a lot of us in our 30s are kind of discovering that the things that we enjoyed when we were in middle and high school are things that we actually do enjoy further into our adulthood. I mainly have a problem with wearing black because it's hot. And also mesh is like it retains more heat than you would think. Depends on, again, what the material is. But yeah, I've just had a really rough time occasionally wearing all black. But it's funny because, like, when I was a teenager, literally when I was in middle school, I was in, fucking, I don't know, 6th, 7th grade maybe. And there were some kids who were in, like, the oldest year you could be in junior high, who were, like, annoyed with me and my friends and called us, like, posers and said we were fakers and stuff. And it's just like, it's just clothes, man. Like, what? I don't know. There's, like, a whole subculture that you think you're part of that I don't get to be part of. Like, you think you're the only person in the entire, like, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade who is, like, who feels like you're a countercultural individual who doesn't fit in. Like, calm down. Jesus Christ. I wear all black no matter the temperature. Oh my god, banana brains. I respect it, but I can't do it. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the idea. Like, I relish the thought. This is just a little... It's basically a little tank... Or it's like a crop top bralette thing. I'm not showing you my belly because that's the... If we get to the donation goal today, you'll get to see the belly. Because this is... the shirt just stops right at my rib cage. But I would genuinely love to go jogging or hiking in something like this. Wouldn't that be hilarious? In the same way that people go jogging and hiking in, well, maybe not so much hiking in a sports bra, but people go, like, jogging in a sports bra. I just think it would be funny to do it in, like, a goth thing instead, if I was not going to die from the heat. Hi, Gayfesh. Hello. Striving to be thriving. True. Mabs, I'm glad that you had some progress at your voice therapy session. That's awesome. In high school, I wore almost exclusively black. One day, I wasn't wearing black except for my jacket, which I had draped over the back of my chair, and my friend was like, put on your jacket. It's weird that you're not wearing black. That's fun. That's fun. Oh, I also totally understand that, like, my legitimacy in any kind of goth subculture is questionable because I never wear makeup. Like, right now, lately, I've been putting Aquaphor on my lips because it has something in it that really helps with the way that my lips are chapped all the time. It's just a matter of remembering to actually do it rather than, like, when I forget and then my lips get chapped and then I bite this, I, like, chew on my lip all the time. That's why it's all discolored all the time, because I just sit there and chew on it. But yeah, so I don't ever wear any other kinds of makeup though, so I understand that that is a bit of a detriment to the overall style. Yeah, poser McFaker face. Poser, yeah, goth gatekeeping. I think it has always been a little bit of a thing. And now I'm an adult and I'm like, fuck yeah, I love witchy shit, and I would wear this kind of stuff all the time if I weren't so lazy. If anything, what's happening now is I'm experimenting with the idea that me being femme will get more attention. Like that if I hype up that aspect, that maybe I'll get more clicks or something. I'm experimenting with it a little bit. And that gives me an excuse to dress up. And I'm like an hour before the stream, I'm sitting there like, oh yeah, I should get dressed and like think about what I want to wear. And then all it takes is a cute little bralette top and some mismatched arm warmers. And I'm like, yeah, I'm cute. I didn't even put on any different earrings. I'm not wearing any jewelry. It's like, this is all it takes to make me go like, yeah, this is good. There you go. I always run wearing bright colors for reasons of not getting hit by cars. Sure, yeah. I can respect that. I feel like I'm in the sun, like, okay, I have photography lights right now, and you can see how pale I am. In the light of the sun, I'm like glowing. I'm like radioactive. So if I was wearing like a sports bra with all of my skin visible, I would not be so worried about getting hit by a car during the day. And I'm not going to go running at night because why would I do that? I'm actually entering a time of my life where I'm contemplating like, oh, am I ever going to be somebody who like goes solo camping? I did it back where I'm from. I felt comfortable going solo camping back where I'm from. But like, and even then, like I didn't go very far. It was like a campgrounds that might as well have been in the city for as far as I actually went away from where I live. But now I'm like, I don't know if I would go doing that. Anyway, it's just because I'm femme. It's like those calculations where you're like, I want to go places, but I don't want to die. Which I just, first of all, didn't go a lot of places. And second of all, I did pass as masculine for a long time. But now that I'm like not trying to do that, I'm like, man, I got to think about all those normal woman things. Oh my gosh. You guys are so active today. I love that. Ooh, yeah, I would love to get into using my sewing machine. I just don't really know. I don't have like a lot of creative ideas for what to do. So, Kitty, if you have any suggestions, like what should I work on that will give me an excuse to use my sewing machine? I have a really nice one. It was a gift from my mother-in-law. Kitty says, but what if I like chewing my lips off layer by layer? I know. I'm like, I'll be sitting there doing it, and I'm like, I would love to stop doing that. And I'm just still like, it's frustrating. And then it bleeds, and I'm like, yummy iron, you know? It's like, God, it's not intentional. It's just, and I'm like, God damn it, it's fucking, again. I thought you were trans femme when I first found your channel. People often think that. And weirdly enough, like I also like know way more trans femme people than I know trans masc people. Yeah, amongst amongst a lot of my close friends, most of them are AMAB. Of like, you know, I don't have like a lot of like super close friends, but of the people who I even talk to, like most of them are AMAB. It's really interesting. Camping in Kansas, are there enough trees for that? Listen, we had trees. We did have some. You mentioned, welcome to the website, Guilfoyle the Great. Welcome in. Thanks for joining up at the website. Says, hey Lux, you mentioned having a disability recently. Is it an invisible disability? Either way, much love to you. Yeah, great question. So it's Disability Pride Month, which I'm assuming that's probably what you saw. I made like a post on my channel, a text post with like a selfie, talking about Disability Pride Month and just acknowledging it. Somebody got mad at me last year because I made the joke that everybody makes about like, oh, Pride Month is over. Now it's time for wrath. You know, that's just a silly thing that we do. But someone got really ticked off at me because it's also Disability Pride Month. And I was like, oh, well, I should probably go ahead and acknowledge that, especially because I'm a disabled person. I'm a disabled creator. And I don't think a lot of people know that. Like really, like, if I felt like I had the option to work outside of my home, I would probably be aggressively pursuing that, where I do actually kind of feel like being able to work from home, even though it costs me a lot of money to do that, is still preferable for me. But so why I'm disabled and work from home is I haven't gone through like an extensive formal diagnosis process. I would like to. I'm gonna try to get health insurance here soon. Uh, so basically, like I have all the symptoms of POTS, which is to say that I struggle with a lot of things related to my autonomic nervous system, which means that like I struggle to regulate my temperature, so I overheat very easily. I seem to get dehydrated very easily, and I seem to experience low blood pressure episodes and like low blood volume, perhaps that affects like my vision, for example. Because if your eyeballs are not like fully inflated, they can change shape and shit like that. So yeah, basically like a lot. Oh, and like my heart will race, standing up, sitting down, like my posture can aggravate my symptoms. I need more salt than most people. I need to drink more liquid than most people. Standing for extremely long periods of time can be really tough on me. And then probably a lot of the POTS stuff that I have is likely related to a connective tissue disorder, but I haven't investigated that specifically. So basically, like what I know almost for sure confidently right now is I have POTS, and I've also been diagnosed with ADHD, which is a type of disability. I am also probably autistic, which is a form of disability. And I haven't figured out if I have mast cell issues, but I do sometimes wonder, like, why does my throat hurt all the time? Is there a connective tissue reason for my throat hurting all the time? Or is that, like... And I don't mean literally all the time. I don't think I have, like, cancer. But, like, it's really easy for my voice to become sore. And I don't know if that's... I don't know what that is. So it would be cool to get that looked at. Ooh, kitty, I love that. Okay, so yeah, definitely this is something that I am continually looking forward to exploring. Despite the fact that I have these difficulties, I feel like I'm starting to kind of get on top of my health, and like exercise is kind of required in order for me to improve. So what I am thinking about is, like Kitty is talking about, you know, getting more gear to go running. I don't really want to go running, but I do want to keep acquiring gear to like go hiking, even if it's like pretty easy hiking. I want to continue working on my physical health in that way, where I can like go places and do cool shit and not be worried about getting sick. Yeah. Okay, for getting into using my sewing machine, Kitty Tick is recommending a patchwork quilt. Cool. I have POTS too. Mine is related to MECFS. Oh my gosh. MECFS is so fucking crazy. My heart goes out to you on that. Sometimes I'm afraid. I'm like, if I keep pushing myself past my limits, am I going to end up developing MECFS? Like, it's one of the things that terrifies me so much about COVID too, is like, yeah, so I have mad respect for people whose shit is more difficult than mine. I still feel like I can get to a point where I can go hiking. Like, I feel like I can eventually get to a point where I'm functional and, like, maybe even could have a part-time job outside the home. I don't know. But, so it's like one of those, like, oh, but I'm not that disabled kind of things that I run into sometimes, where I'm like, yeah, but am I really that disabled? And then I do something insane, like start strength lifting supersets, like 5 days a week, and then crash out hard for several weeks after. And I'm like, oh, cool. Yeah, great. So Gradual increase in activity is important, for one. This is a little note from me to you. I think I'm having hot flashes from medications or premenopause. Yeah, I think you're probably too young for premenopause, if I'm remembering correctly, but doesn't seem fun anyway. Disability sucks. I'm on metoprolol succinate for POTS. That med has stopped me from falling down dizzy like I was. I think I was prescribed metoprolol, and the only thing that it did was make me unable to sleep. But I also think that I was overestimating how bad my heart rate was when I tried to take it. Because it basically just takes away your ability to... It, like, plugs up your adrenaline receptors. You may need to check up with your doctor. Yeah, Blue, I just moved 2,000 miles across the country. So I'm about to try to get health insurance so that I can establish a brand new relationship with an entirely new primary care physician. Because the person that I was seeing, obviously, is not licensed in the state of Oregon because I was seeing them in Kansas. So... yeah, my voice being sore sucks as a paid yapper. Yeah, I quit stream at like the 3-hour mark on Sunday because I was like, dudes, my voice hurts. It would probably help if I remembered to warm up more often. So I'm trying to do better with that. I'm trying to do more warming up before the stream, if I can remember. Thank you, Guilfoyle. Says, I appreciate you speaking out on this stuff. Let's hope huge medical science breakthroughs are around the corner to help us. Yeah. I don't know that we're going to be seeing any major medical breakthroughs on the topic of dysautonomia or post-viral syndrome, but I do hope that we continue on a direction where, like, technology is more and more adaptive to help support what functionality we do have. That's something that I'm super invested in, and I think that it's probably one of those areas that I don't talk about enough. Like, we talk here on this channel frequently about the upcoming climate change related disasters and economic disasters that are coming in the near future and all that. And I guess I do tend to forget to include lots of disability-centric conversations there. I'm always just like, yeah, whatever. If you have a disability, we'll figure it out. Like, there is something that you can contribute, even if we have a society that's based on, like, everybody has to contribute something. Like, even if you can just watch the kids for an hour, or even if you just can, like, sit in the kitchen and chop vegetables, we will figure something fucking out. There's certainly something you can do. But, like, I don't want us to stop trying to continue finding clever workarounds and, like, technological workarounds for things that we're struggling with as disabled people. Yeah, but, like, that's part of what the kind of society that I would rather live in is, like, we do actually put resources toward, you know, mobility devices as an example, without it being like, oh, it's a for-profit industry and we really only invest in improvements that are going to get us more money, and we don't, like, you know, we don't have, like, a goal or a mission of making sure this product actually reaches and helps as many people as possible. Anyway, thank you for the £5 from Guilfoyle in the YouTube chat. That equals about $6.80 apparently in United States money. So thank you. That's the first donation of the stream. Belly. I will show off Belly or Flex or Cat or whatever you want when we get to the $100 donation goal for today. Goodness, there's a lot of people in YouTube chat too. I don't think I've said as much to YouTube chat today. But hi, Banana Brains, Naomi, Ben Jules, Quantum Chaos. Hello. Heathen Granny. Spain just took Israel to court. Like, damn, no wonder Spain is so progressive because they cut ties with Israel. Damn. Yeah, that is kind of surprising. We'd love to see it, though. You know, on Takis this past week, which somebody earlier, and I'm sorry, I read your comment and I didn't respond to it, but someone earlier said that they appreciated my appearance on the Hang Up. Thank you very much for that. I enjoyed being there on the Hang Up. Oh, it was Guilfoyle. Okay, cool. Yeah. Yeah, I ignore YouTube like the redheaded stepchild for sure. But we had 3 Spanish language callers on Takis this past week, and 2 of them were actually Spain Spanish. And I thought that was really interesting. I'm like, you guys are fine. Like, you're fine, right? Like, Spain is like one of the good ones. And you're like on the ocean over there. You're like, I mean, I guess Portugal takes up a lot of the coastline, but like, like Spain is one of the good places. I don't know what you guys have to like worry about over there. But versus like the one guy, person who was calling from Mexico, and I'm like, no, I completely get it. You're in Mexico, that's fucked up. I'm so sorry. As anyone who is even remotely gender non-conforming in a Mexican context, I feel bad for them. Real fucking hot there right now. Super hot in Spain. Sure, I guess I meant like just politically though. It's like, it's chill, right? Like it's fairly progressive. And I mean, they're suing Israel, so you and Matt made a good team. Thank you. I appreciate that. It was, so I try to be as normal as I possibly can, right? Like I try to be normal. Matt Dillahunty is like a micro celebrity to me because like my partner, God, I mean, genuinely, it was like more than 10 years ago. I couldn't say exactly how long ago, but, oh, we have that today. We have that black tea that I like so much. The black tea with rose and bergamot oil. Oh my God, it's my favorite. I'm gonna have to get more soon. But I do have a little tiny bit of, like, I was really annoyed when Matt Dillahunty went to bat for rationality rules. Although in retrospect, I'm like, okay, he was trying to be like, let me get my boy to be reasonable about this. Like, let's try to work it out, whatever. Rationality rules decided to double and triple down. That's not Matt Dillahunty's fault for him, like, trying to be like, listen, let's hear this guy out. I've been that guy before who's like, surely there's an explanation. Let's hear him out. And then I end up in trouble by just being a person who's like, let's try to hear out this person. And then when we hear them out, it turns out that they actually maybe did fuck up a bit. And that they're maybe not willing to admit that they fucked up a bit. So I was like parasocially a little annoyed with him for that. And then he left the ACA and has been working with Jimmy. And I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, that's cool. I think that was around the time that all those people left the ACA. Yes, Naomi. I know, this is deep lore for the atheist community. I'm sorry. I did atheist activism before I ever did queer activism, so I'm sorry that is kind of a thing that you're going to get here. Ooh, by the way, there are about 10 more people in here than there are likes on the stream. So hit like on the stream, even if you are not here and you're not enjoying this conversation, if you're about to leave, hit the like button before you go, because that'll still help me in the algorithm. But yeah, it was fun going on with Matt Dillahunty, and I did have a little bit of that experience. Like, there were a couple times where he was like nodding along with something that I was saying, and I was like, yes, Matt Dillahunty thinks that I'm smart, you know, a little bit. Just a little bit. I'm gonna be vulnerable. I'm admitting here that I did have a little bit of aha senpai notice to me. So that was nice. But he's just an old guy. Like, you know, you avoid falling too much into that trap of like parasociality. I guess maybe it's like partially because I'm older now, and so I just don't see celebrity status the same way. But I'm just like, yeah, he's just an old fart. You know, he's just a guy who likes to do card magic and crochet sometime. And, you know, like, I don't know, he's just a cool dude. Whatever. The other day, it was like 42 degrees in Spain. 42 C in Spain. How much is... I am not good at doing the math that direction. 42 C to F. 107 degrees. Ay, 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 ay. Oh my God. I watched a bit of that stream, but when Matt was like interrupting your questions to bulldoze, I was like, oh right, I forgot I can't stand watching Matt anymore. Yeah. And he's trying to like chill out. He was like, I'm trying to stay in my Zen mode. And apparently he had kept that up for like a month. And I appreciate it. There's a reason why I stopped doing primarily atheist activism, and Matt has just been in it forever, so it's getting repetitive for him. So I understand getting annoyed. Matt's the cranky stepdad of atheism, and we love him for it. Sure. Yeah. He's certainly cranky. Thank you so much, Jace On, for the $20 Australian. That's very kind. It says, hi. Hi. Just so you guys know, and it's no big deal, but like when you donate to YouTube, YouTube takes like somewhere between 30 and 50% of your donation. And I don't get it until next month. If you want to more directly support the show, donating directly through my website in the links below, I receive everything except for the PayPal fees. And I get it like tomorrow instead of next month. So just so you guys know, direct donations to the website are the preferred model, but I definitely still appreciate the super chats. That does help show YouTube that it needs to tell more people about the stream. I'm just going to go ahead and round that up to $20 for the stream today. Belly! I'm wearing a crop top, and I will be showing off the belly if we get to the donation goal of $100. Did I do this? Yes, I did. Okay. Making sure I tagged you guys in the Discord server. Andy says maybe Arden needs to buy Matt a shock collar for when he starts to go off the rails. Maybe. I don't know if they're into that. 46 viewers, 38 likes. I wonder if we can get to 50 likes today. I don't know if we can do it right this moment, but that is a goal that I have. Ooh, okay. Oh gosh, first of all, hold on. It's 115 degrees at my old home in Mesa. No wind. Jesus, it is hell. The next 5 days, it won't even dip below 90 even at night. Ugh. Like, I know this upcoming week here in Oregon, it's supposed to get up in the 90s, and it'll be up in the 90s for at least like 5 days consecutively, but it's gonna drop down into the 60s at night. Maybe even the 50s sometimes. I didn't like look at the lows, excuse me, when I was looking at the 10-day, but yeah, it's going to be hot here, but I'm like, oh, at least it'll cool down at night. I can go outside for a little walk at night, or if I get up early enough in the morning, then, oh my God, my partner is on the precipice of buying a fucking car. It has taken a lot more work than like the last time I bought a car, but it's fine. We're almost to the end of the process, and I'll have my fucking car back soon, which means I can drive out to the garden any day that I feel like I have the energy to do it. At the end of the rainbow, hello in the chat there. So are you relatively new in the community out of curiosity at the end of the rainbow? I am so happy to answer your questions. I guess you may have gotten a gifted sub. That's lucky. You just joined the community and got a gifted sub. Tracy Harris was my favorite ACA host, and she disappeared off the face of the earth after the Rationality Rules thing. I mean, so Tracy is, if I remember correctly, Tracy, obviously not only is she a woman, but I think she's a woman of color, and also, was she queer? Maybe not lesbian, but was she bi? I feel like she was. If not, that doesn't matter because she's still a woman of color. She probably is just working in other types of activism that more directly impact her as an individual, you know? Like I love going on the other shows on the line to talk about atheism, partially because it's been a really long time since I was talking about that on a regular basis. But also, like, it's like returning to something that I know very well, but that I haven't been having to repeat myself on for the last 10 years. And like, it doesn't as directly affect my day-to-day life. Like, the idea of being religiously persecuted is actually kind of ridiculous to me. Like, I can't imagine being religiously persecuted for being an atheist. I can imagine being religiously persecuted if I was too openly or too seriously like, I'm a pagan or I'm a Wiccan or whatever. Like, if I was too hardcore with that, I can definitely see that being something I would be religiously persecuted for. But considering that I am disabled and able to get pregnant and like trans and autistic, like I have other things that more directly impact my life. So I just am bored, or like I would say I got bored back in the day talking about religion all the time, because I'm like, dude, there are other things that are way more like directly harmful to me than religion. I still really don't like it though. So at the end of the rainbow in the YouTube chat asked me, why is Christianity bad? I'm not a Christian, but don't they generally preach for the good? So my elevator pitch is that, I mean, they don't usually follow through on the good things that they advocate for, or at least they don't do that enough as a group in aggregate enough to like counteract all the bad things that they do. You know, like persecuting queer people and being against like interracial marriage and kicking out trans kids, you know, just like, or even kicking out their daughter who got pregnant as a teenager, you know. And I don't think we can say, oh, well, those people who do bad things in the name of Christianity simply aren't Christians. You know, we have to go off of what somebody self-identifies with and what their own stated reasons are for what they do. And if people are doing harm and they're saying it's because God wants me to, then that means Christianity is responsible for that badness, you know, because Christianity itself obviously isn't its own thing. It is an idea that is upheld by a bunch of people. And if a bunch of people are doing harm and they think that that's what Christianity is, then that counts just as much as the people who do good things and say that's what Christianity is. I just happen to think that everything good that Christianity does can be done without it. Like everything good that churches do, we could do it a different way, you know? And I place a high value on things that we can prove, you know, and we can prove that like people need access to food and that they suffer without access to food, right? We can't prove that God exists. So I just don't really care about that question when we have more practical issues we need to address, if that makes any sense. Like at a certain point, and like the definition of God is so flexible. Like if I ask 5 different people, what do they define as God? One person might say the literal Christian God. One person might say like a nebulous feeling of love in everybody. One of them might say like a guy who started the universe but doesn't intervene, you know? And like the simple fact that we don't have a consistent definition to put to the test, for me, and I thank PZ Myers for this gift of basically freeing up the need to continue to claim to be agnostic or unsure or like uncertain. I don't need to say I'm uncertain whether God exists. I can say I am certain that God doesn't exist because like the people who propose the existence of such a thing, first of all, are not even able to come up with a coherent idea of what that means. And second of all, have not produced repeatable evidence of the existence of that thing. But I would be willing to change my mind if there was some kind of tangible something or other. Somebody is being silly in the YouTube chat. I'm only half paying attention. Thank you, Timerinia. People are asking me about this top. I think that I just got this off of Amazon. I think that I was just looking up goth tops on Amazon, and it's just a crop top. Like, it's only covering, like, the boob area. It's open in the back. It has a little button that buttons it up here, and this buckle is pretty much just for show, as far as I can tell. Yeah. Kitty talking about Mesa. Where is Mesa? Is that, I can't remember where are you from Arizona or from New Mexico? You're from Arizona. Yay for building a heat sink in the desert that collects and radiates heat all night long. Based on the average of 10,000 pounds of concrete per human in order to live in a city, there is 40 billion pounds of concrete in that desert. Holy shit. Hi, Baphomet. The Boy Scouts used to discriminate specifically against atheists under the argument that they cannot fulfill the value of reverence. Good thing it's not the Boy Scouts anymore. Yeah, the Boy Scouts always was kind of lagging behind. I think the Girl Scouts was always a little bit more progressive on those kind of things. Yeah, dude, and it's been crazy seeing the resurgence of anti-Muslim racism with Mamdani. Like, I have to say, I live my life in a way where I usually just kind of forget about religion. Like, genuinely, most of the time I forget that it exists because it has, like, almost no impact on my day-to-day life and functioning. And yeah, I just... It's been real weird to see everything about Mamdani happening. It's been... Like, people coming after him for like eating with rice with his hands, and I want to just go through and find a bunch of pictures of American politicians eating various things with their hands. Like, what I really need, what would be the pièce de résistance, would be like a picture of a president or a governor or a senator or someone like eating chicken wings and like popping their finger in their mouth and like licking their finger off. It's like, oh, you thought that Zoran Mamdani was disgusting eating with his hands. Yeah, it's been cool to see the rise of anti-Muslim sentiment. Yeah, It's been super cool. I remember being forced to watch Expelled at a Christian school. Mentioning P.Z. Myers brought back that memory. Yeah, P.Z. Myers is a cool dude. He's a very sweet guy. Is this person leaving the YouTube chat? There was someone being really confusing in the YouTube chat, and I wonder if they're gone finally. Oh my god, I fucking love tea. And my disappearing, reappearing TARDIS mug. My tea is starting to cool off, so the TARDIS is reappearing. It's still disappeared on this side, though. It still appeared on this side, sorry. This one is supposed to be appeared when it is warm. Yeah! Look at that. We ignored a weirdo and he just went away. Isn't that nice? We did it. Pork Chop Express says, I believe more in the values of Jesus since being an agnostic. Yeah. I think that, like, on a technicality, I agree with a lot of the things that Jesus said, but I also don't care. You know? There goes the free slot on the Lux bingo card. They bring up tea. Listen, I haven't been drinking tea regularly enough for it to be on the bingo card, much less the free spot on the bingo card. Yeah, they need some attention. They want me to ruffle their little heads like a rapscallion, like a little Dennis the Menace head Razzle dazzle. It's weird. I mean, it's bound to happen. And it's desirable in a way. Like, if the content is being showed to new people, some of those people are going to be weird. But if we occasionally get a weirdo, then that means we probably got like 5 or 10 normal people also who had never been in here. Every time I come in here, you're talking about tea and or plants. Well, you don't come in here often enough because you should be coming in here every time I talk about climate change and the impending collapse of the American empire. Mormonism. Oh gosh, wait. I went to a Mormon church camp run by the Reformed LDS Church when I was a kid. I had no idea that Mormons were such a problem until I was a teenager. They're like a pretty big problem, yeah. What do you think is the best religion to have? Okay. So how can you explain what you mean by religion? Can you define? I know that's a really annoying way to respond to that question, but it is the way that I have to respond to that question because I'm willing to have a pretty flexible definition of religion, but I think that people often have a very specific thing in mind when they say it, so I just want to make sure I know what it is you're actually asking. What do you think about Sarah Sultana and Jeremy Corbyn launching a new left party in the UK? I have not heard about that. Let me do a quick little Google. Sarah Sultana. Zara Sultana. Member of Parliament? Okay, so Zara. That's probably not your fault. It's probably autocorrect. Zara Sultana and Jeremy. I remember hearing good things about Jeremy Corbyn. Like he left the Labour Party and was like not involved in politics for a few years, right? Aside from being like a commentator, but now he's getting back into politics, and I guess by like basically by saying like Labour is too far right, and so we are going to create another left-wing party. That's interesting. Yeah, reach can be judged by the error rate producing notable chat pollution. Occasionally we're going to get some chat pollution. It's okay. I'm not upset by it as long as people aren't screaming slurs. Oh my god, dude, this is the first stream since Takis this past week, right? Was anybody on? So the call-in show that I do on Thursdays, most Thursdays, including tomorrow actually. Ooh, I'm glad that I thought of that. I am going to go do that tomorrow. Yeah, so last week somebody called who ostensibly was calling to be like, "Hey, is it bad?" So he was a straight guy who's like in a relationship with a trans woman of a couple years, and she hasn't had bottom surgery. And he was like, is it bad for me to say that, like, I completely accept that our relationship is a straight relationship, but when we have sex, we call it gay? And she likes it and I like it. And I was like, dude, And I tried to like kind of have a serious conversation about it where I was like, yeah, I mean, it's like, I get it. Like, you know, sometimes we're into things that are problematic and it's like, fine. And you know, your kink is okay, like whatever. And like, I honestly kind of wonder if he wasn't getting some kind of gratification from calling. People in the chat were quick to say he was a troll. And it definitely, I don't know. I did hang up on him. I was like, listen, I'm going to say, maybe the call quality is so shit and I have auditory processing. So like sometimes if he said the T slur, like I can't even remember when he said it. Or like maybe I completely missed that. He was like, yeah, he was just like waiting for an opportunity to say something R-rated. So I was like, I'm not going to give him the chance. I'm like, listen, the only thing I can say is I'm glad that you're having a good time. Okay, bye. And like he was about to be like, no, well, one last thing. And I was like, no, literally hung up on him. I was like, I can't deal with this right now. The consensus was that they called in just to be dirty. Yeah, basically. Like you know, I want to be open to having those kinds of discussions. And I am. I'm open to having a discussion about like sexuality and kink and shit like that. And like, you know, chasers and fetishization and everything. But Oh, okay. He had a different term for chaser that included the T slur. Okay. I think maybe the issue was that I couldn't understand the second part of it, so I like completely forgot the T slur part of it. I was like, what the fuck did he just say? And then I was like, no. Like, but yeah, it was weird. Okay, at the end of the rainbow, clarified the question about if I think that there is such a thing as a good religion by saying maybe we can define religion like believing in a higher being. Um, I think if you are believing in a higher being, then that is necessarily something that you're doing without having sufficient evidence that that exists. And that is inherently a bad thing. Like, I think that we should encourage people to believe things for which there is proof rather than, you know, being like, yeah, it's fine for you to believe crazy things. Like, you know what I mean? The only reason why religion isn't defined as a delusion is because it's widely accepted. Like, literally, if you look up, like, the definitions of delusion in, like, the diagnostic statistical manual, like, if you look at the actual how we define mental illness, the only reason why these allegedly religious experiences are not qualified as mentally ill is because they are popular. So, it, like, from my perspective, it is out of touch with reality. If that's how we're defining delusional, then I would say it's delusional. And I think that we should encourage people to, you know, look at what's around them and appreciate that more. Someone is asking if this guy was being bad pervy. Like, listen, when we do a call-in show where we're educating about trans issues, right? And like, we were trying to ask, like, do you know what such and such is? And he was like, what do you mean, like licking the butthole? And I was like, it just kind of seems like you're pretending to misunderstand what we're saying so that you can say something sexual. And I'm like hosting a show that is going out live to somewhere between 300 and 400 people usually. And we gotta keep things relatively clean and we gotta keep things moving. And so, yeah, it's like, if you want to get into anything beyond the surface level discussion, going like, yeah, it's fine for you to have whatever kinks you want. If you and your girlfriend want to call it gay, then I don't care, you know. But it's different to go in and like start talking about specific sexual acts in that context. So I would say like that's a form of bad pervy, which is to say imposing perviness on an audience that is not it's not appropriate. You know, we're not a sex advice podcast. If we were, then it would be appropriate, but it's not. As a T-girl, his line of thought felt very chaserish. Oh, girl, no, yeah, no, I know. I agree that basically anytime a guy is like, ooh, I want to fuck a trans woman because it's gay and that's what turns me on about it, I'm like, yeah, that's chaser shit. Like, that is what it is. And if you're cool with that, and if she's cool with that, like, listen, if baby girl is getting all her needs attended to, fine, like, I'm fine, right? Like, you know, if she gets to be sugar baby in that situation, like, God bless her, making it work, whatever. And if you get off on the idea of like breeding a straight man, I get it. I get it. So let's, you know, just uncomfy vibes is accurate. What about a higher being? That's when my cat climbs up on top of something he's not supposed to be on. He's a higher being. Yeah, men be normal about sex. Challenge level impossible. Be normal for 1 second. It's fun stuff. Hail hydrate, babes. Don't forget to drink water. Hi, Drea. Welcome in. It was kind of funny, though, and you handled the call well. Yeah, I felt like it was funny, and like we kept it just within the lines of being appropriate. You know, listen, it's not completely against the rules to discuss sex stuff on YouTube. Okay, if it's within a certain context and censored in a certain way, if you declare in your video, if you say, hey, I am reviewing this video and I am telling you whether it's ad appropriate, if you select, yes, I talked about sex a little bit in a non-graphic way, your shit is still approved for ads. But if you talk about sex in any way and you don't declare what the context was, YouTube will say, oh, you talked about sex in this video, and since you didn't say I talked about sex in a non-graphic educational context, then it will automatically consider your shit non-monetizable or restricted monetization. So that's the thing I think a lot of people don't understand is like, if you just go through and you click, yes, I am talking about sex in an educational manner, or like if you mention gun violence one time, then clicking the thing that says this video has guns in it in an educational manner, then like, boom, click it, and you don't have any issues. It's pretty easy. I'm curious why so many religious people call LGBT folks delusional. I mean, it's because of a history of how those groups have been treated. Like that we used to treat women and we used to treat like gayness as like something that you could lobotomize out, or something that you could like torture people into conformity with like electroshock therapy or whatever, you know? Like the fact that someone created the idea that being straight means you are mentally healthy and that being gay is a mental illness, or that it is like a contagious behavior, like a contagious dysfunctional behavior, or, you know, unnatural. So like there's this idea that it is fundamentally like I don't know if you've ever thought about it, but like when a man is gay, the kinds of ways that we insult that man are often by like comparing him to a woman, because it's like, oh, you know, you're submissive. And like, so basically like being gay just on its own, even if you are super masculine in a bunch of other ways, being gay makes you like less of a man. And similarly, being a lesbian makes you less of a woman, because what is the natural order to these people is being heterosexual. So I think that they want there to be an explanation for why you wouldn't be that way, because like they are making the assumption that everyone is straight or everyone is cisgender, i.e. everyone is non-trans, you know, and they kind of go forward with that belief and they try to make everything fit into that belief system. So if they believe that that's how everything should be, then they have to go in and be like, well, here's why people might not be that way. And they come up with reasons. And the reasons are, they range from like, you're just doing it to be rebellious, or you're just sinning because you hate God, or, you know, you just have a dysfunctional relationship with your mother, or you're mentally ill, you know? So it's just like one of many reasons that kind of all stem from that naturalistic fallacy that being heterosexual is what is natural, or even if it were that it's natural to be heterosexual, that it being natural means that it's also right and good in a moral sense. Different. I know, it's top erasure. It's so funny because like in the Roman culture, they didn't have the idea of like a gay person per se, but they did have the idea of a top or a bottom. So like if you were engaging in homosexual activity, you were still respectable as long as you were a top. But if you were a bottom, then like that was the shameful thing to do. So funny how that shit changes over time. Riffs No Leads, hello, says, years of confirmation bias for religious nuts is ultimately the problem. Campaigns to convince people they are delusional are necessary. I I mean, I'm sure that it would be wildly unpopular, but I don't necessarily disagree that we should be trying to communicate to people that they should believe in things that are real, and that believing in things that are fake is a bad thing. And like, just because it makes you feel good in your heart doesn't make it a good thing. TBH, I find most sex talk uncomfy, but that's almost certainly the evangelical upbringing coming out. But also, at least it makes me less likely to accidentally bring it up in weird circumstances. That's true. Puggles, hello, welcome in. Oh, goodness. I've had something weird bothering me lately. The right wing wants, Kitty says, the right wing wants everyone to have every baby, but they also want every human to work. Do they not know that having every single human become a living one means more disabled people who cannot work? You cannot have it both ways. And also, continuing to deny common sense healthcare, like covering broken bones and vaccines being covered, would be better than nothing. That would get you more workers. Jesus, I cannot understand their platform except that they want to see more ages 5 to 35-year-old people dying. Yeah, I have wondered this as well. In an economy that is allegedly predicated on, we need workers in order to make the money so that we can earn more money, so that we can have more money and pay the people as little as possible. Like, why would you engage with policies that cause people to die? Ooh, we got to 55 likes. Hell yeah. Thank you, everybody. I enjoy having a chill stream where we kind of meander and talk about whatever. I like talking to chat and answering your questions. So thanks for hanging out with me. Okay, what was I responding to? Kitty Tick was... Yeah, like, why are they engaging in policies that kill people or create more disabled people? And I think it's because they are completely fine with reducing the population, because a lot of the jobs are automated now. Like, I think that the more automation we see, the more likely they lose the last incentive. Like, keeping us alive and healthy so that we can work is kind of their only incentive for doing anything that keeps us alive and healthy. So if they think they can run the earth, if they think that they can provide themselves with a comfortable life with a skeleton crew of human beings on this planet and a bunch of robots, they would be perfectly comfortable with reducing the global population down to a skeleton crew of, like, I don't know, 600 million people, like... The truth is that the right doesn't believe in anything beyond their death cult being maintained. I mean, that kind of seems like that is what is happening a little bit. Yeah, Drea also makes a great point, kind of responding to what At the End of the Rainbow was asking about in YouTube chat. It would not matter if other people believe that queer people are delusional if they were taught to stop forcing their opinions on everyone else, which would include not passing these stupid laws that are impacting queer people. Yes, I agree. Like, I wouldn't care. That's the thing. And I've tried to say this and people don't seem to, like, the message doesn't seem to land. Like, I don't care if my neighbor accepts me being trans. Like, if they don't actually see me as the gender that I identify with, like, I don't care. I don't require that in order for me to be healthy and happy and functional. If they're willing to just privately believe that and not talk to me about it, I don't care. You can privately believe whatever you want. You can even vote against my interests if you want. Like, I'm not trying to control you. But the problem is that like, they do wield influence and also try to hurt you personally. I mean, like, yeah, obviously I want to be clear. Like, I would prefer that they not vote against my interests. And if we live in a happy, healthy community, then even if 51% of people voted to kick out all the trans people from the city or the commune or whatever, wherever we live, I would hope that there would be other protections that would go, hey, listen, this is point, like we're going to override the majority rule on this because you're persecuting a minority, right? We have to have something in place for that. But at the end of the day, I'm like, I don't need you to like me. I don't need you to validate me. I just want to kind of just function. Robot future. Yes, exactly. We need to eat to be smart, but they don't want us to be smart. That's the thing. They're trying to consolidate power, and consolidating power also does mean consolidating intelligence. The more well-read your population is, the more likely they are to make their own decisions. You know, like there is a reason for this, and it feels bad to us, and we're like, why would they do that? But like, it makes perfect sense if you understand that, like, access to knowledge and the ability to process that knowledge are types of power and control that can be exploited, and denying the working class those things is a way to stratify the class divide even further. And they want that. I don't think they realize that anybody can become disabled at any time. I mean, I just don't think they care. Like, these ultra rich people know that if they get disabled, they can afford accommodation, or they can afford to pay someone to carry them around. You know, they can afford a long-term carer. They can afford the medications. They don't care what happens to anyone else. They don't consider anyone else's circumstances. Rebecca, welcome in. I usually just listen to your talks/debates. Oh, so are you typically a follower over on The Line? I am changing up what I do on my regular channel, so it's great to have more people coming over here. We do obviously talk about all kinds of different political and other interesting topics. To me, I'm certainly not going to talk about anything I'm not interested in. But we talk about all kinds of stuff on the streams, and we have the streams twice a week. And then I've been recently uploading videos reviewing queer theme movies. So oh my God, guys, I started watching Mulan earlier. So patrons, there are not very many people who are super active on Patreon, but Patreon usually gets the first opportunity to vote. Sometimes YouTube members, I will also show a poll to them to see, like, can I get an aggregate of what the two groups think? But you all can vote, members, but more often patrons. Even just a $1 contribution gets you an opportunity to vote on what movies I am going to watch next, or watch and review next. So people voted for Mulan. What did I give you guys? I gave you guys, I was like Mrs. Doubtfire, which I really want to do for some reason. I don't really know why. Maybe because it's just a classic movie that I haven't watched in a long time. Mulan or Hedwig and the Angry Inch, because a couple people have mentioned that movie recently. But they voted Mulan, so Mulan is the movie that I'm watching. And I got 7 minutes into that movie earlier. I kept, like, pausing it, and like, I was busy. I had other stuff to do, so I wasn't, like, really fully sitting down and watching it. But I got to the 7-minute mark in Mulan, which is basically, like, you get to the scene where she's being bathed, but not... So, and the song has started, but we're not yet to the part where she's, like, walking with the other girls in the street, right? I'm just at the part where she's just been bathed, and they're like, we put up your hair pretty, now you have to go somewhere else and get your makeup done. That's as far as I got, and I want you to know that I have 4 chunky paragraphs. 4 chunky paragraphs about Mulan. I'm 7 minutes in, and what's the word count? Viren is the only one I know in chat who will appreciate the word count, because you're in the middle of writing your thesis or whatever. The word count is presently, listen, 328 words, 7 minutes into the movie. So I am gonna have a lot to say about Mulan, I am sure. I'm excited, though. I'm gonna sing, I think, in it. I'm gonna try at least to have my voice prepared to sing a little bit in my movie that I do, my video that I do. Did we already watch a movie yet? Do you mean in Discord? Are we getting a 4-hour Mulan video? I hope not. I don't think it's going to be 4 hours long. Somebody did ask me, like, someone commented on a community post saying, like, I would like you to consider looking at it as a trans femme reading. And I'm like, oh, I'm trans mask though, and I see it from that perspective. So it might be a little bit longer than I would intend for it to be if I also do like a miniature trans femme reading as like an honorable mention, I guess. Because I really... 51 of you here. You have to promise me that you'll still watch my video even if I blow my load on some of the notes that I've already taken. I promise the whole video will still be worth watching. Oh my god, are we going to get to 69 likes today? That would be fucking legit. The movie is about masculinity and masculine archetypes. I want you to think about like 6 male characters and like look at the different masculine archetypes that exist in that movie. That's what it's about. It's like when people tell me they watch Breaking Bad and they're like, oh, I can see that this movie is all about toxic masculinity and like, fucking Walter wants to like gain the approval of the other men, and he does all of this like hyper masculine stuff in order to gain that approval and like fit in what he views as like this manly masculine role. The provider as well as the badass drug dealer and everything. So Mulan is definitely about masculine archetypes. 7 minutes in and I'm like, oh, this movie has a thesis and you can tell what it is. 328 words is usually what I write in a single writing session on my book. Hey, that's good progress. Nice 4 chunky paragraphs. Yeah. The Mulan live action movie is so bad and wrong. I still haven't seen it. I could though. I have Disney Plus. I could. Maybe me dumb or watched it too late in life, but Mulan did nothing for me. Hold on. I do think that it is more effective for you when you're a young person, but I also do think, like, I don't know, it depends. Like, Riffs, are you trans femme or trans mask? Because I do think that makes a difference. If you're like, who is that girl I see staring straight back at me? Why am I not what my reflection shows? Like, I can see it being like a very specifically trans boy kind of thing. Good night, Quantum Chaos. Thanks for coming to hang out. Oh, yeah. Oh, Rebecca. So if you are like, hey, I might have to leave because it's late and I'm in the UK, I want you guys to know on Sundays, I specifically stream early in the day so that it's like evening time for you in the UK. So I stream at 11 a.m. Pacific time, which I think should be around like 7 at night for my UK people. So if you want to come back Sunday at like 8 p.m., come hang out with us. I don't know what time it is. Turn on your notifications. I'm a lame-ass cishet. Well, of course Mulan didn't do anything for you then. I'm saying it's a trans allegory. That's what I'm doing, is I'm like focusing on movies that have trans allegories in them. The toxic trans femme behavior of claiming everything as representation. Listen, Disney movies, okay, trans men, trans masks. We have Mulan. What do you guys have? Fucking mermaid. What time is it there? Right now it's like 3:20 on the Pacific Daylight Time. Yeah. Het-ish? I don't know. Journey's still out. Yeah, Journey's. Yeah, totally. It's 6 a.m. Oh, yeah. I did. Wait, okay. So 7 hours ago tomorrow? No, it's further along than that. Is it Thursday for you at the end of the rainbow? Genuine question. Was Mulan written as a trans allegory, or are you interpreting it as such? Oh, I don't think it was intended as a trans allegory. I guess I could look into that. Like, I guess as part of my creating a video about it, I could go ahead and check, but I don't think so. I think that it's only interpreted that way commonly by trans people. Puggles, enjoy driving down the mountain. Be safe. Doesn't Mulan in the story go back to being traditionally feminine? I mean, yeah, kind of, but like I view it more as like she finally gets to embrace her authentic self, where it's like she is a girl still, like in her culture and society, but she doesn't have to perform hyperfemininity. Like ultimately, I think what it is actually about is like there's more than one way to be a woman, you know? Kenny got me to 69 likes. Thank you. Mwah. Now can we get me to $69 in donations for today? Currently we're at $20 in donations. Donations directly through the website are the most beneficial to me. Oh, Malaysia. Okay, cool. Nice. Be safe, dude. Malaysia is rough. Yeah, so okay, so one way that you could read Mulan is like we have all of these male archetypes, but we have very few like female archetypes, basically. Like we have the mom who in the first couple minutes of the movie, she's like worried about Mulan, but other than that, like she doesn't represent a feminine archetype in the same way. I don't think, at least. Like I think even as the figure of the mother, she doesn't really represent that as an archetype for me. Maybe I'm just choosing to ignore it. And then we have the grandmother, who is kind of kooky, and I feel like her role as like a kooky old person could easily have been fulfilled by a hooting grandpa. You know, like I really don't think that there's anything feminine archetype about the grandma. Like she doesn't fit into a typical crone archetype. Not really. So, and then we've got like, okay, the women who are bathing Mulan, like they don't really represent anything specific except for like the cultural pressure for her to perform femininity. And then she's paraded after all these other women in the matchmaker scene. And I think that maybe what the movie is actually driving toward is that you could say that like, okay, men are allowed to be more different types of things, or like masculinity can be represented in these different ways, versus like there was only one correct way to be a female at the beginning of the movie, and we do kind of end up on this lesson where Mulan is allowed to be herself and be a woman. So like I think that that's what the movie is actually saying, but of course I am not going to. Maybe I'll acknowledge that in my video, but that's like I'm clearly doing a transmasculine read of the character. Yeah. You pick Be a Man at any karaoke event and everyone will be singing their lungs out. I feel like literally any discussion of Mulan or any thought process about Mulan or any like, ooh, I'm gonna watch Mulan later, it always begins with, let's get down to business. Like for me, like listen, okay, literally I'm looking at my notes. I was about to hit play on the movie. I had the movie set up on this monitor and I pulled up this monitor and I was like, let me get into my trans movie notes document and let me, make a new tab and whatever. And I get to the fresh, clean page of my document and it says in all caps, let's get down to business. And I'm like, yeah, because every discussion of Mulan has to begin that way. I just feel like it has to. And like Gayfesh commented that when I posted on Blue Sky that I was going to be talking about Mulan. Gayfesh was like, let's get down to business. And I was like, fuck yeah, exactly. Oh, we got to and surpassed 69 likes. Yo. Man. If y'all are about to get a paycheck after having paid rent last week, your boy could use $5. Pink Closet says, historically, the first record of Mulan, a folk song, is believed to have been composed during the Northern Wei dynasty between 386 and 535 AD. Hell yeah, that's fun. Oh my gosh. When my voice starts to get sore, I have honey in my tea, so that's nice. Thank you, Puggles, for the 20 Australian. Says, love you, Lux, but gots to go. Good night. Have fun and be safe driving down the mountain. Have a good rest of your day. I always pick Anarchy in the UK at karaoke. Oh my gosh. I'll stay another 5 minutes. Thank you. Thank you so much for your support. That brings our daily total up to about $33. So $33 today out of a whole goal of 100. I'm wearing a crop top and I will show off the belly if we get to the donation goal. Valtteri Numelin. Hello, Varpu. Varpu here says, non-binary Finnish person, I wish every trans person and leftist safety in light of current events. You are in our thoughts. Fight back. Be safe. Thank you. That's very kind. Appreciate you dropping by. Don't forget to hit the like button. Oh gosh, Puggles squeezing in another $1.50 Australian before running away, bringing us up to about $34. Now I just want to sing. I've goofed it up for myself. I screwed it up. Now I just want to sing. To defeat the Huns. I just listen. I could go. I've never done karaoke. I could though. I actually almost did. I made plans with a friend, a couple while ago. Wow, Jesus. A couple years ago, I had plans with a friend. Like, I think that like COVID vaccines had just recently become available or something. We got boosted and we were like, yes, let's go and like hang out and do an overnight and do karaoke. And it just didn't end up happening. Nikki says, I cannot do financial transactions on YouTube. No worries. Yes, donating directly through my website, luxander.net. You can go luxander.net/donate or luxander.net/subscribe, I think, if you want to have a monthly recurring donation. But yeah, you can totally do it on my website. And that's better, in fact, because I get more of the money. YouTube takes a pretty significant amount of the money when you donate through YouTube. And also, I don't get the money from YouTube until next month, along with my ad payout, which is weird. But I think I would fucking slay at karaoke. Genuinely, I think I would do amazing. I recently found out you can get a bar full of people looking pensive by singing the song Perfect by Simple Plan. We did 4 or 5 karaokes last year before the baby. Safely, I hope. That song and the anthem by Good Charlotte were my 2 standards when I first started doing karaoke at 14 years ago. Yeah! Thank you, Puggles, for another 5 Australian. That brings us up to $37 for today. $37. And then I'm going to be on Takis tomorrow. So if you guys who are leaving now, if you want to come back tomorrow for Takis at, the usual time, I will be there. Do you think COVID actually happened? Okay, so I'm trying to keep in mind cultural differences. I don't really know anything about how Malaysia handled COVID. But yes, I mean, yes, in 1,000 Americans still die approximately every week from COVID in my country. And that doesn't, like, we're not even counting a lot of the deaths that are caused by like post-COVID complications, like heart attacks. COVID can increase your risk of heart attack by like double. And that risk doesn't necessarily go down for, you know, we only have like 5 years of data because COVID is only 5 years old, but it seems like that risk doesn't go down over time very much. So it's kind of scary. Excuse me. Yeah, but no, I mean, yes, I got sick from it. Like, I think I got COVID like 4 times. Like, I think I've had it about once a year and it sucks balls. Like, it's not good. It made my symptoms worse. Thank you so much, JW Edgy, for the $5 super chat. Says, I've been talking about getting a group for karaoke for like 8 months now. Will I set it up? Will I continue talking about it for 8 more months? Who knows? Whatever you do it COVID safe. You can do karaoke. Just make sure that like masks are required or it's outdoors or something. Have fun. But singing, it like projects way more than talking. So be smart, be safe. But do get together with your friends because that's really important. Puggle's now gifting memberships. I don't usually count memberships in the donation goal, but thank you. That's very kind. Gifted memberships to Tubian and Banana Brains. Enjoy those. You get a fun color name and you get access to the private emojis. Oh my gosh, 5 more gift donations. Thank you. Yes, member snipes. But yes, okay, so $5. And then thank you, Rebecca's fiance, with a $20 donation directly on the website. Thank you. So I'll add that 25. 25. Oh, did I just get another one? Oh, that's all the memberships coming in. Okay. Okay, 50... 62. $62. I'm trying to make a habit of doing more math in my head. I just think it's good to use your brain, you know? Use it or lose it, as they say. Okay, so we have a question. So, thank you everybody for your donations once again. That's very, very kind of you. I think that this is going to be almost done, showing up here in a second. I don't know. Naomi says, I worked through the height of COVID, but it was an overnight job with barely anyone there except when I started my shift. Yeah. Kitty says, my dad retired as a nurse just over 1 year ago. My mom finally got to kiss him again regularly after 4 years of not kissing regularly because he was working as a nurse. Like, yes, COVID happened, for sure. My brother is a pharmacist. It for sure happened. Whoop. Come on, YouTube. The live stream page is goofing up on me. There we go. Yeah, Puggles is fucking carrying the donations in the YouTube chat today. Thank you. Whoop, come back. There we go. Also, I had to go to the emergency room during... I'm just going to assume you mean during the height of COVID. Yeah, fall 2020, during one of the highs of COVID, for an unrelated reason. But I literally was triaged for like 4 hours while my arm was broken because COVID had the place absolutely packed. Totally. Soft Daydreams, you joined the Discord 2 weeks ago. So, babe, there's a welcome page that has like the rules. And so what you have to do is you have to read the rules, and then you have to click a button to say, I understand the rules. And then you can join. And it then will show you all of the different things. And then you can start to get notifications and stuff when I go live on the channel or when I upload a new video or whatever. So yes, but you have to click, yes, I understand the rules. At the End of the Rainbow asks, didn't the John Kennedy person say it was the vaccine which caused COVID deaths in America? That is a great question. So the person you're talking about, his name is Robert F. Kennedy. Robert, RFK. And he is a fucking idiot. I'm like, I really don't have a great way to put that. And like, I know that maybe it feels a little bit silly for me, a person who just lives in this country, to say this person who was placed in charge of public health in this country is a fucking idiot. But I mean, like, my president is a joke who puts people in charge of things who do not know what they're doing. So RFK, I don't know if you know about this at the end of the rainbow. I'm assuming that the news is a little bit different in Malaysia and maybe even in the United States. We didn't really talk about this, but RFK Jr. recently took his grandchildren to go swimming in a creek that is known to have fecal matter in it because the local city's sewage spills out into that creek. So this man took his grandchildren to go swimming in a creek that we know has human shit in it. And this is the guy who like says, oh, vaccines are bad for people. Like, he's a fucking idiot. And he's decidedly wrong. So there is some indication that people can get harmed by vaccines, very, very rarely. But it's so negligible compared to how many how many obvious deaths there are from actual COVID. It's so fucking stupid. Yeah, raw water. Yummy, yummy. Better Than Ember says, I nearly died for several months. COVID for sure happened. Yeah. Goodbye, Kitty Tick. Had a coworker die from COVID. Andy did. Ooh, Jesus fucking Christ. Yeah. Personally, I don't think I know anyone who's passed from it that I know of. I know an old man who has like, I know an old man who had pneumonia and all this kind of insane shit last year. And like, he had RSV, but like the impact that RSV had on him, I honestly think that if he had died from it, I would have considered that personally like a post-COVID complication, because I think that his immune system wouldn't be fucked up if he hadn't had COVID several times. And like, I think, am I remembering correctly that COVID has also been associated with bone density loss? Because that same old man also just fell yesterday or the day before and like broke his rib. And I'm like, yeah, so brittle bones, early clinical evidence indicates an increase in vertebral fractures, hypocalcemia, vitamin D deficiencies, and a loss in bone. BMD is bone marrow something. Yeah, like, so COVID basically could be causing all of these issues. I'm like, I swear to God, I'm gonna be pissed off if this old man that I love fucking dies. Was it for a dare or charity event? I mean, most people wouldn't do it for no reason, right? Yeah, no, but I think that he's doing it because he's trying to subvert the idea that we need public health shit like that. Like, it wasn't for a dare or for charity or anything. He just took his grandchildren to swim in a shit-filled creek and post pictures about it online. Like, RFK Jr. wants to put out this narrative that your body is basically immortal if you just do the right things, because it creates a situation where if you are unhealthy, you can be blamed personally for you being unhealthy. And he also thinks insane things. Like, he thinks like people who are on medicine for ADHD just need to go work at like a re-education farm camp for 5 years and then their fucking ADHD will be cured. Like he's not a scientist. Like Viren says, he's not a scientist. He's not a nutritionist. He's not a health expert. He only has that position of authority because Trump put him there. What his job is to completely dismantle public health in my country, and we already are very good at ignoring public health. Ew, RFK Jr. once went to the restroom on a public flight barefoot. Apparently. Jesus God. Swimming in human feces is the most right thing to do. I mean, I assume you mean politically right. He's an anti-vax spokesperson. Fun fact about Mulan, an animator that helps with the movie did find out later that she was trans. Oh, that's fun. Aw. Yeah, Bobby Jr. got whacked by the idiot stick multiple times. Dude, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. had fucking brain worms. They found a brain worm inside his brain, and it had to be removed. Like, this man has literally lost brain matter to a fucking brain worm, which, how do those usually get there? Usually, it's some kind of fucked up parasite that you got because you didn't cook your food correctly or you didn't wash your hands. How do you dismantle something that practically does not exist to begin with? I mean, some of the main things is like a lot of people have still been getting their kids vaccinated. And if those vaccines are no longer covered by insurance, which is what will happen if they are no longer the recommended vaccines, insurance will just like opt to not cover them. Then public health truly goes out the window. Yeah, eating gas station sushi, Futurama style. Surely he must have some kind of qualifications if he wouldn't even be considered to be nominated. I don't know. It just sounds unbelievable. Yeah. I want you to know at the end of the rainbow that the way that you feel right now is like, it's like we've been going through a process in my country like this for years. We're like, are you fucking kidding me? This idiot, you're putting this idiot in charge of this? Like, it really is, because my government is run by, I mean, it kind of seems like he's the big Don. Like he, like, literally, like, I think that he is kind of like a gangster leader guy. Because, like, here's the thing. You get into a favorable position with the president, this current president, not generally. People who want good favor with Trump, like, they buy him stuff. They give him money. Or they give him obeisance. Like, they are like, they suck up to him, if that makes any sense. I know that you're dealing with, like, you probably don't speak English as your first language, so I'm trying to make it, like, understandable to you, what I'm saying. Like, you have to suck up to him, you have to kiss his butt, you have to tell him how great he is, and you have to give him a gift, you know? And then, if you do those things, he will basically, like, and then if you also agree to do the things that he wants to do, he will give you a position, or he'll give you favors. Like, this is like a crime family is kind of how it works. So that's like my federal government right now. The government over my entire nation is being run by like a family of criminals who are conspiring to continue fucking over people who live here. Lux, can I have that top when you're done with it? I want it. What are you gonna pay? How much are you paying? Yeah, surely he has to have some qualifications. Surely it isn't that dumb. Oh, you sweet summer child. Yeah, I know it sounds fucking stupid. It sounds insane. It sounds kind of unbelievable. But that's where we are, unfortunately. Yes, a corrupted government which can be bribed easily is more or less what we're dealing with. Yeah. Elon Musk pretty much has openly admitted that he purchased the presidency for Trump. He's like, you wouldn't have won if it wasn't for me. So it's like, okay, you clearly pumped a bunch of money into the campaign that probably was not legal. This look is so cool. Thank you. We get to really enjoy the belly on this crop top if we get to the donation goal for today's stream. Ooh, we have 80 likes. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Take a drink. Keep hydrated. Yeah, wouldn't it be funny for Elon to steal all of the money back? I do think it would be funny. Man, honey is so good. Blazing earlier said, "Hi, I'm Iris. I'm transgender male to female. How are you today? Just had a birthday on July the 4th. Well, hey, happy belated birthday. Great to see you here. I am glad to get more new folks come and hang out in the community. I'm doing okay. I mean, considering that the world is fucking stupid and everything's falling apart, like, I just started working on my next video today, so I guess I'm doing pretty good." Is everyone in the US government like the shit swimming person? Not every one of them. But like, if you're asking, like, okay, so if the question is, are they all stupid with regards to their health, like they would do something like swim in shit water, most of them are not like that. If you're asking, are a lot of our appointed officials being appointed for dumb reasons, even though they are not qualified, then yes, many of the appointments that are being made are stupid people who are unqualified to do their job. So yes, there is that. I miss having French press coffee. It's been too long. Ugh. I know, it's so difficult. Like, it seems like a French press is a simple thing that you should be able to have, even if you're in a transient housing situation. But, like, it's glass and, like, yeah. The more stuff you have to carry around, the more difficult it is. Has there been news about TikTok being shut down again? Did they, like, pass the law for the TikTok ban, but it's like wasn't going to go into effect until later? Is this one of those situations where it's like, oh, they were just going to wait for it to go into effect? Yeah, if only RFK Jr. had the brainworms that Fry got in that episode. Yeah, like, and they improve you. They actually make you better. Surely there cannot be anyone more underqualified than the shit swimmer. I certainly think that the appointment of RFK Jr. was the biggest mistake, possibly, as far as the political appointments goes. But I guess at the end of the rainbow, you may have also missed the news that we had where was it our Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth? Like, someone important started a non-secured group chat and started talking about the movement of military assets. And one of the people that was invited to that group chat was a journalist who did not have security clearance to be on that group chat. So I don't know if RFK Jr. is the least qualified person, because that fucking happened. Like, literally, a journalist got added to a group chat, which was not secured in the first place. Like, even if the only people who had been added to the chat were people who were qualified to have access to that information, they were still on a group chat on a platform that was not secured. And this is like basic shit. This is basic shit that you're supposed to know how to do if you're working with classified information and sensitive information, like troop movements and everything. Like, it's bad, dude. It's so bad. Yeah, still waiting on my invite to Hegseth military chats. True. It's supposed to be next March that TikTok goes away. Yeah. None of them are particularly good, but I do think RFK is probably the one that most obviously rips away the facade that Congress is anything other than a rubber stamp for the president. Yeah, like, why are they even going through the motions of, like, questioning these people and going like, are you even qualified, when we know that the Republicans are just going to say, yes, the president suggested this person, even though they're a fucking idiot, and so let's just approve them anyway. Great. We love that. They're all competing to be the least qualified. True. I'm sick of living through historical events. I know. I want my life to be uneventful. Or like I want the events in my life to be like I had a really great time hanging out at the fucking volunteering event. I don't know, man. I just want to I want to like know people and like enjoy. I do think I might finally get over myself. Like, what is it that's stopping me from doing it? I've been avoiding getting involved in any queer activism here, but like I might go ahead and like try to meet some trans people who live here. Obviously, like, I moved to Oregon and all the trans people I know live in Seattle. So I'm like, maybe I should make some friends in my community, actually. I don't know. I haven't been really wanting to. But now I'm about to get my car back. Like, this week, maybe. Have access to my car again all the time and be able to go anywhere. Oh, God, I can't wait. My God. So yummy. Nice cup. It's my disappearing, reappearing TARDIS mug cup. I know that was X-Files. People are allowed to leave their front door these days? Yeah, I know. Wild. What a concept. It is about to be like 90 degrees 5 days in a row coming soon. And I'm like, oh, God. If I'm gonna do anything, it needs to be in the morning. Are there no qualification requirements to run a country as great as America? No. I think part of the problem is, and we've talked about this a little bit before. Ooh, 50 concurrent viewers. What's up? Hit the like button. Mwah, love you. I think my thing here is that my country is kind of built on this idea that like people are going to be truthful and honorable, and as such we don't have rules against those things. Like, I think there's kind of an assumption that only people of high regard would even try to be president, you know? Like, and like that a person seeking the office of presidency must understand the dignity and prestige of that position, and must therefore know that they must hold themselves to a higher standard of decorum and respect of others and everything. Like, I think that the founders of this country had this belief in propriety that caused people to, so it's mostly like honest, honorable individuals who are seeking that office, which is not necessarily true in like all situations. But that's, I think, why there aren't like rules. Like, why is it that in my country, this actually happened in, I think, the state of South Carolina. There was a new congressional district, basically like, oh, the population is too high in this corner of the state, so let's break that up into 2 districts. And one of those districts had a high number of Democratic voters, so like left-leaning progressive voters, and they voted for a representative whose name I can never fucking remember, but it was a woman. And soon after she got elected as a Democrat by Democrats, she flipped parties and said, I'm a Republican now. And then she was the deciding vote, I think, in the South Carolina passed an anti-abortion law. And I don't think it would have passed if it weren't for the fact that she flipped parties and started voting like a Republican. But she's still in office. She didn't get fired for that. There's no like rule against lying or defecting. Like, in my country, and I think that this is happening a lot, actually, I think that people who consider themselves like moderate Republicans, if they are not like the furthest right insane MAGA Trump people, they're running as fucking Democrats. Because there's no rule saying like you're not allowed to. Cool, I'm only 4 years away from being able to run for president. Nice, yeah. I think the earliest I can run for president is the following one, right? So it would be 2032. 2032, I think I'll be old enough. Because I'll be almost 40 by then. Trump is the first president ever who didn't either serve in the military or study law. Every other one did one or both of those things. Dude, I was watching Independence Day the other day. We watched Independence Day and Independence Day Resurgence. I didn't really pay as much attention to the second movie, but the first movie, you know, obviously it's super jingoist. Like, just, you know, obviously, like, not gonna pretend that it's not jingoist propaganda. But something that I really liked about the movie and about the president in the movie is that he's a veteran. He's a combat veteran, a combat pilot and veteran, and he has I think he's a Republican. Like, I think in the movie he's meant to be a Republican. I know they don't really say, but he's a Republican, okay? But he's like a veteran, and I respect that about him. And I was kind of thinking, like, when was the last time we had a veteran? Oh, it was in North Carolina, my bad. Not South Carolina, where that lady flipped parties. Like, when was the last time we had a president who served in the military? Because I honestly think that probably would make you a better president. Like, in the sense that, like, at least you're going to be thinking about the real personal risks to getting involved in certain foreign policy issues. Like, you're going to understand more viscerally, like, you probably have friends who have to work with the VA. And so you're going to be like, oh, I understand that we need to take care of fucking veterans in this country. So I just feel like even if you're a Republican, that being a veteran automatically gives you a little bit more perspective on things that would make you like a more effective leader, especially since you are the leader of the military as president of the United States. I don't know. Am I off base with this one? How do other people feel about like veterans as president of the United States? Welcome to Earth. True. Dude, my husband also pointed that out. Welcome to Earth. Bush Jr. was the last one to have a military experience? Man, maybe I should just completely eat my hat. George W., he was in the Air Force. Okay, so Bush, like, got us involved with the fucking, like, he is, like, the guy who was in charge when they lied us into the Iraq War, right? Like, so we can't necessarily just say that, like, being a president who's had a veteran, who is a background of being in the military doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to have better foreign policy. He was Air National Guard, I thought. And, like, I guess maybe I especially respected the completely fake character played by Bill Pullman in the movie because he also was, like, spoilers, I guess. He decided to fly in the final battle. He was like, yeah, man, like, we're trying to get every pilot we can, and I'm a pilot, and my place is in the sky. Like, I have a duty, I have a responsibility, I have the experience needed in this exact kind of combat situation, and my responsibility is to be up there. And, like, I love that idea of, like, so I'm gonna follow this up by disagreeing with myself, just to be clear. I'm gonna have a nuanced position here, but, like, I do kind of appreciate that, like, a leader being able to go, I'm no better than the next person, and therefore, like, if we are saying, like, it's of the utmost importance that we get as many pilots in the air as possible, then I need to get in the air because I'm no better than any of these other pilots. Like, why should they sacrifice something and me not sacrifice something? Now, I will say, obviously, you want to preserve a chain of command, and so that they say that at the beginning of the movie. They're like, hey, if this is a serious fucking issue, then we need to preserve the chain of command. And he's like, yeah, okay, well, go ahead and get the vice president and my cabinet and, like, everybody in the presidential line of succession, get them fucking out of here, but I'm not going to leave because I feel like my responsibility is to stay here. So, like, yeah, I can see multiple approaches to that concept. Our Malaysian individual in the chat says, I think military makes one worse for the job of president. Okay. I can see positives and negatives to it. I do think they should all study law, though, since they make laws. Okay, so I feel like I don't know if they necessarily need to study law or if it would be good enough for them to receive like a crash course 6 weeks training before becoming like so we talked about this before, like what makes someone qualified. We talked about this last week of, you know, we were looking at the TACUS poll because we did a poll because we wanted to talk about Josie Caballero's campaign to, you know, get into office in the county that she lives in. And so we were asking, like, are trans people like, do we need more trans elected officials? And so, yeah, it's like, are we qualified? Like, who's qualified? And I honestly, we're in a situation where all of our lawmakers have studied law, which means that they come from privileged backgrounds. It means that they come from affluent backgrounds. It means that they had the privilege of going to college and that they have the cultural influence of going to college and all of that kind of shit. So I honestly, like, we're in the trouble that we're in because our country is run by a bunch of people who studied law. And, like, I'm not saying that we should not have any expertise with regards to, like, how do we write the law in a way that makes sure that we cover all the bases that we need to cover and we make sure there's as few exceptions as possible, or that the exceptions are very carefully carved out, whatever. Like, if there were, I guess, like, counselors or parliamentarians or something, like, I don't know what the correct word is, but if there were people who were like, it's my job to work alongside our represented officials to make sure that when they have an idea about a law, my job is to write it in legalese and to help consult with them to make sure that the law covers all of the bases that they want to cover, and no more and no less. Like, I think that that would be a great thing to do if our actual representatives were more reflective of our people, you know. So if we have more bartenders like AOC, if we have more doctors, if we have more garbage men, right? Like, if those people were then working alongside lawyers to write the laws, that would be a different situation. But, like, for the people who are writing the laws to be so out of touch with what regular Americans are dealing with, because, again, they're coming from a background that is, like, very, very, very few Americans have the background of being lawyers or studying law or even going to fucking college. I don't actually know. What are the statistics? Maybe that's something that I should Google. Like, what are the statistics on how many Americans are college educated? And, like, do I count as college educated? I took a certificate program, so I was technically a full-time student for 2 semesters and I got a certificate. But so does that count as, like, some college? Probably, like, quote unquote some college. How about no representatives, just us directly? Well, you would need to not have one large central, like, I don't see how that works for every single issue to be put to a direct vote for 300 million people. Like, I don't think that's possible. Unless you break it down and, like, there is no centralized government, you know? I was a college educator, but never went to college. Nice. Shakespeare says, I'm in favor of more vibes-based presidents, but next time maybe good vibes. Oh, that's fucking funny. We have the internet. Surely we could use it for popular voting on federal issues. Well, what do you do for the people who don't have a smartphone? Or for the people who don't even know that they can go to the library to get access to those services? Like, what do you do for the people who can't get the day off work to vote? Or, like, you know, like, I'm not saying that that's not a good idea. I just think that there are a lot of practicalities, and that those practicalities end up boxing out the people who we desperately need to vote the most. I watch a lot of videos where Americans cannot answer simple questions on the streets. Is it true that Americans are like that? I'm sure that some of those videos are staged. Like, the more stupid it is, the more likely it is that it's been staged. So I want to just say that there's a very good chance that a lot of what we consume on the internet is actually a skit. I saw a video just this week of like, okay, a woman was on her motorcycle and she clearly had just finished getting gasoline. And some guy came up to her and started hitting on her. And then she said, "No, I don't give out my number. I'm sorry. I can give you my Instagram." And he threw water in her face. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. And it seemed like maybe it was a real situation. But people in the comments were like, "Oh, this is a skit. This is a skit. If you go to her account, this is a skit." And I was like, okay, great. Jesus Christ. Just get my fucking adrenaline going, even though nothing happened, actually. So a lot of those videos are just fake. Like, they're just to get people to click on it and go, "Oh my gosh, can you believe he did that?" But we also are systematically underfunding and defunding the school systems, and we keep saying things like there's a teacher shortage, but actually what there is a bunch of teachers who would love to be teachers but can't do that job because they don't get paid enough, or they don't have good enough benefits, like, or they're dealing with a lot of stress from like parents being assholes, or they get sick a million times a year because we didn't bother to upgrade the ventilation in schools when COVID was in the popular mindset as like a real thing, you know, like COVID is still killing people and harming people. And actually long COVID is like the leading cause of disability for children. But we're just not doing anything to fix this, right? So what we have is a bunch of teachers who would love to do their jobs, but who can't. Oh my God, thank you for another $20 from Puggles. Gonna switch to the line as I get ready to go. Love you, Lux. Thank you. Have fun with Matt over there on the hang up. I hope you have a good time. Thank you for another donation. Okay, so that 55 plus earlier, we got a $20 donation on YouTube chat. So we're at $75. 75. If we get 25 more dollars, I will show off the belly because I'm wearing a crop top. Or we can do biceps or kitty cat or whatever. I don't fucking care. I don't think any of the issues you brought up are insurmountable. Okay, well, so I agree that, like, so we could... Okay, so here's the question. Is the proposal here, like, every single issue could be up for a popular vote? Like, federal issues? Like, the degree to which people would have to be knowledgeable about things is insane. Like, there's, you know, if every single thing is getting put to a popular vote, we're expecting every single person to be able to understand complexities like foreign policy and taxes and the logistics of, like, vaccines. And, like, so all of these things that we presently technically have, like, a bunch of semi-experts working on that. Emma, I love to see you in the chat. It's always so good to see you. Crop top, yes. Like, I think that the most unfeasible part of a popular voting system for a country with 350 million Americans, 350 million citizens, I think the biggest problem is that all of those people are gonna reflexively basically vote no on anything that includes raising their taxes. You know, like, that's, people are gonna be focused so much on just the... Can someone please explain to me what this is? Oh, you're asking me if I want to pay more taxes? Fucking no. I'm glad that Oregon has mail-in voting baked into our system. Yeah, me too. Absolutely. Drea, thank you for the Here You Go $25 donation, which brings us up to $100 for today's stream. That's very kind. Thank you so much. I was like itching my belly. I was like, I'm about to show off my belly and it's got a bunch of red marks, but I don't think I actually do have a bunch of red marks. What is crop top? Well, I will show you in a moment what that looks like. I do agree that voting should include education on what is being voted on, but I don't think every element needs to be voted on. A lot of them, however, should be. Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily disagree that democracy is like good. I just think that it's not good enough on its own, you know? Because again, like all it takes is 51% of people saying kill the trannies and then I'm dead, you know? Like there clearly has to be some other mechanism. Okay. What was I gonna do? Like this? Whoa. Oh. My chair was in the way. I goofed up. My chair was in the way. Belly. This is a crop top. A crop top shows the midriff. There, I'll flex in addition. My phone in my pocket. Belly. I hope everybody enjoyed belly time. Ah. Yes, literally flexing on chat. Oh my god, are you gonna do this to me? I'm gonna drift further and further down. The piercing must be very painful. My belly piercing? No. I got it when I was 18, so first of all, that was like 13 years ago. But no, I mean, it doesn't really hurt. Noah says, I need to get my abs back and rock the crop top. I let myself get flabby, but you might be surprised at what you can do with 2 15-minute ab workouts a week, even if you're not skinny. Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm like incorporating exercise again, and I'm thinking I might just like start working on some of those core things and like not focusing on burning myself out exercising, but just doing like 1 or 2 things a day. And yeah, I'm like, I think ab work and core work so that even if like I don't lose any body fat, at least like I want to have a strong foundation. So like instead of focusing on losing weight, like I think I'm about to switch to just like working out and eating a normal amount. I'm afraid to get a piercing. My mom would kill me if I got a piercing or tattoo. I know it's tough over there. Like there's different stuff going on in Malaysia as far as like rules. I know that in Korea, bro, I was reading that in Korea, it's illegal to do tattooing. Like, I was watching, like, a video of a person who does tattooing in Korea who was like, yeah, it's illegal. And I'm usually not, like, worried about getting raided or anything. But, you know, I have to operate out of a basement. Like, it is illegal to do this. Kene says, my tummy pudge has been shifting my to my hips and butt thanks to HRT. Hell yeah, dude. Exercising is difficult to do when I've been trying to get my hypothyroidism under control. God, yeah, other medical issues make it fucking annoying. I just hope all these dummies who regret their votes actually show up for midterms. You know what's really funny? So, my, oh my god, who is she to me? My stepmom-in-law, like, yeah, anyway, I have a family member who usually every holiday sends out, like, a text, and I am always included in that, even though I rarely respond. But if it's like Happy Easter or like Happy St. Patty's Day, like literally every holiday, I did not get anything for the 4th of July this year. And I actually didn't ask my partner, like, hey, did she text you about the 4th of July? Like, did I finally get removed from the list or something? You know, that was kind of my thought process, was like, did I finally get removed from the list because I never respond to these things? But I kind of wonder if she is not just like, you know, she's a Republican. She voted Republican. I'm almost sure she voted for Trump. I didn't ask, but I'm pretty confident. And I think she might just be experiencing some of that regret. I'm like, I can't imagine why else she wouldn't have sent something. Like, either she's personally feeling bad or she knows that I would be upset by it or something. I don't know. I have no idea, but it was just curious to me that it may be the case that I do actually have a Republican family member who regrets their vote. Ooh, we have a newbie in the YouTube chat who might be trying to be silly. Are you being silly, Paul? Are you a silly, silly boy? I haven't even pierced my ears. Oh my gosh, you are so deep into your transition, Emma. That's surprising. IDK how I feel about having things attached to my body / I fear them catching on things. I guess that's fair. I guess, you know, like, I've never had any issues with my ears getting caught on anything, and I have gauges that are big enough that I can put my pinky through my ear, you know, like I can literally put my fingers inside my ear. And it's never really been an issue of like catching on anything. And I used to have, well, I guess I probably still have the piercings, but I just don't wear them anymore. My snake bites, and like, I guess the only issue I ever had with that was like, I hope that this baby who I'm holding isn't gonna try to grab my lip piercings. Tattoos? Wait, where is that? In Korea? Noah says, yeah, tattoos are gang related, so they aren't allowed. Okay, so no, that you are talking about Korea. Okay, South Korea. Tattoos are gang related, so they aren't allowed, but you can pierce your infant's ears. Very silly. I got my back piece in South Korea. The We Can Always Tell crowd coming to die in the YouTube chat. As usual. Yep, as usual. They're just silly little guys, you know? They're just silly little guys. Oh my goodness, we have 90 likes. Like, shoot for the stars. Let's try to get to 100. We got $100 in donations. Can we get 100 likes? Thank you so much, everybody who's donated and who's been hanging out. It's been a great time. Let's look at the poll for today. I've decided to try this out where, like, I try to do a poll in conjunction with the stream. I'm not always good at remembering, actually, but I'm trying it out. Today's poll is butts. That's the question. And you can respond butts or butts or butts or boo. I cannot like any further than I've already liked. No! Somebody go to Matt's stream on the line and tell them to come over here for a sec to hit like. True. Yeah, go tell Matt that, like, I need his audience to come support my show. Is the poll on Discord? No, babies. This is on the YouTube channel. Sorry. I'm doing this because the YouTube posts apparently can bring people into the live chats. It's what we do on the line every week. That's why on Takis we talk about the poll. It's like we do that in order to drive traffic toward the show. So I'm trying that. So on the YouTube posts page, you left off the last B. Yeah, so that was kind of the joke, Kene, was like, this is kind of a boobs or butt joke. Like, butts? I really wanted someone to comment like boobs. I just want them to type BS. Boobs. And then they're voting for boobs. All of the above, yeah. Is your name Alex or Lux and you trans? Yeah, so Luxander is the name that I'm using on this channel right now. And yes, me trans. Me trans. Can't I vote on clits? Not an option in this poll. This is a butts or boo. And like, so you're telling me, how do you feel about butts? Of the 66 voters, most of them feel pretty excited about butts, from what I am gathering. Butts! They're pretty excited about it. You might remember from a couple weeks ago, I did one poll that was like women, And then another poll that was like men. I was thinking maybe I would do another one that's like non-binary, but I was like, that one's not nearly as funny to me. Yes, I love you, my Malaysian friend. I am non-binary. Love that question. Are you a boy or a girl? Neither. I'm excited to be neither. Butts are both funny and sexy. Exactly, you get it. You get it. There are trans people in here? Did you guys know? What? I know, trans people. That's crazy. I'm more of a boobs kind of guy, but I can appreciate butts. Yeah. I don't even know. I don't have enough experience with people with boobs. I've been with a person who has a butt for a really long time. Boy or girl? I am an F slur. True. Exactly. Yeah, so at the end of the rainbow said, so you are a boy or a girl? Sorry, I'm just confused. And Emma said, no, that's it. You got it. True, exactly. Everything's better with boobs. I mean, I do appreciate them. I just lack experience. I want to slap a butt. I do get to do that pretty often. It's usually a non-sexual context, but my partner and I, like, slap each other's butts all the time. All the time. I saw a TikTok or something the other day, and I thought it was so funny because it was true. It was a skit. So it was like a wife is like doing the dishes in the kitchen, and her husband like walks past her to get something and then walks past her again to leave the kitchen. And when he's walking past her to leave the kitchen, she kind of does a little like, she like sticks her butt out, and she's clearly like expecting to get the tax. She wants the slap ass tax that you get. It's like, you're in my kitchen, you have to pay the tax. And he doesn't. And she like it's a skit. So I'm like, the joke about domestic violence here is just a joke. But she jokingly like throws like a saucepan, like a pretty lightweight saucepan, in his direction, and he mimes like getting knocked out and being like, ugh, and then coming over and slapping her ass, and then she's like, that's right, and then he walks away. It's like, that is kind of the dynamic. It's like, listen, you're not paying the tax. It's right there. For sure. I like boobs, I just don't like having them on me. Relatable. Is slapping a butt a dominant act to perform? Because it seems silly sometimes. I mean, I usually use it in a pretty silly manner. Like, there's honestly, my personal life experience in the bedroom, considering that I've been monogamous for a very long time, is relatively vanilla. Just not particularly exploratory. So yeah, usually slapping the butt happens in like a non-sexual context. Yeah, no, there's a kitchen butt tax. Or I guess like a you walked past me in our house tax. But especially the kitchen. It's like, how dare you even come into my kitchen without slapping my ass? It's like, I don't want you fucking in here. I do have a very like, oh my god, please leave me alone when I'm trying to do something in my kitchen. I am so focused on what I'm doing. I'm not like butthurt. If my husband comes hang out and like wants to chill and talk to me while I'm cooking dinner or something, it definitely is a drain on my attention. So the dinner gets cooked much slower. But I'm not going to be like, ew, I don't want you to hang out with me. I think it's really interesting for someone to self-declaratively put their name as pariah while also engaging in antisocial behavior. Isn't that interesting? It's almost like you made yourself a pariah. and then decided to be proud of being antisocial. Imagine being proud of your antisocial behavior. Weird. You're only butthurt when the tax is paid a little too much. You know, sometimes the tax gets paid a little too much. Who is the pariah? Oh, there's someone in YouTube chat being funny. Being a silly little guy. That's the second one we've got. It's so weird how it comes in waves, too. It's like, there was one stream a couple weeks ago where there were like 3 or 4 silly billies who showed up in the chat. And today we have 2. So it's like, oh yeah, I get... Sometimes the stream goes out to more individuals than usual, I guess. I don't know. Oh, at the end of the rainbow, you should know that Paul, Pariah, Gremlin is just being transphobic. And I'm only allowing it because it's funnier for me if I deprive them of attention and then they leave of their own accord rather than me having to block them. But he's for sure just being a troll. Yeah, we have waves of silly goobers. These silly little guys. These little guys. They just need to be noticed by Senpai. I'm Senpai. I will notice you. I will grant you. Hold on. I will grant you my little fairy dust, like a little glitter, a little sparkle of my trans flag of attention. I noticed you. Senpai noticed you. Okay? You feel better now? No. Okay. Now everything's okay again. Yeah, I do need to figure this out so that it's displaying a little bit better. Yeah, I don't know. I need to reorganize this shit. Like that especially, I'm like, I really like it up there, but it is just a little bit too tall. I don't know if I asked earlier, but is the calendar in the background a dragon? Hell yeah, it is, babe. That's a dragon. And he has like a constellation on him. So it's like, he's got like wings on either side and he's kind of like, wee! And his little face is right there and it's got orange coming out of his mouth. And then in the corner there's a guy looking at him. You need to have a guy for scale. Can people become part of the trans, or do you need to be born trans? I mean, it's usually something that people realize when they're a little bit older. Like, if you create an environment where people know that it's okay for them to be trans, then usually they will tell you by, like, age 5. But if they're not in an environment where they know that being trans is an option, people usually come out later in life. Whether that's, like, maybe during puberty. Like, that's when I realized I was trans, was when I was a teenager. And some people don't realize until they're in their 30s, and some people don't realize until they're 70. But yeah, it's never too late to go for it. I have dimples of Venus. Are those the, like, right above your backside dimples? Are those the, like, butt dimples? I think I am trans, but I'm not sure. How do I know? Well, babe, for the most part, people who are not trans don't think to themselves, I think I might be trans. So that's a pretty good indicator on its own. But, you know, of course, you can know that you are trans inside and then make smart decisions afterwards. So, like, if you might need to, like, if you determine that you would be happier if you transitioned, you probably need to look into emigrating, really, to somewhere that's not Malaysia. But, I mean, yeah, you know, because you can't stop thinking about it, typically. I've never really I've never really considered if I have the above the butt dimples. I don't know. I'll have to ask my husband. Okay, I think I'm gonna take just a short little break to refill my water and everything and just rest my voice a little bit, and then I'll hop back on here and we can keep chatting about whatever. I'll put on some music so that while I'm gone you don't get too bored. And yeah, enjoy listening to Jazz Dog. And we'll see ya in a minute. Let's play the music. What? my goodness. Okay, we're back. Hi. Just needed to go to the bathroom and rest my voice a little bit. Oh, I forgot to get water. So, you know, that's fine. I'll just deal with it. I only have like an hour and a half left. If it becomes a problem, I'll get more water. I was like, oh man, I actually need to go to the bathroom, and then just completely forgot about the water. Oh yeah, Nuvenal makes a good point. If you're thinking about gender consistently and you don't have OCD, then yes, that's a strong indication that you are trans. Yes, there are some people who have OCD and who think about that stuff. Michael, what are you talking about? Are you still there, Michael? You showed up and then I went on break, so maybe you're gone now. But what did you said something about kinks? What did you say? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? God, what are you talking about? I'm being a dork, sorry. Ooh, we've got somebody posting dancing in a red dress emojis, which I like. Oh, Michael, you were lagging. Oh, you were talking about the guy from Takis, where you were really early in the stream. We were talking about that guy from the Transatlantic Collins show who wanted to talk to us about his weird chaser fetish with his girlfriend, which again, more power to you. I'm so happy for the both of you, but like, I don't want to hear about it. And like, I don't know why you need my absolution. You know how there's otters and bears for guys? Is there something like that for lesbians? I mean, I'm sure that there are some people here who could tell me that. I actually, it's one of my sort of regrets that prior to my transition, I dated guys and didn't have like a phase where I dated girls. And then like the only time that I've really engaged with women in that way, now that I'm like an adult, has been like mostly in the context of like opening up the situation with my partner to include someone else. And obviously that's very different and different. So I don't know. There's probably somebody else who could say better if there's different terminology for lesbians. Like I know that we've got like, okay, so like pillow princess is typically something that we talk about with lesbians, and it's about a sexual role. There's like a stone top, which is also a sexual role. There's like butch, which is like more of a gender presentation, and then there's like femme, which is a gender presentation. So I don't know. Does anybody know better than I do? Okay, we have butches and femmes. There's chapstick and lipstick lesbians. Are chapstick and lipstick like on a is that like taking femme and putting femme on a gradient? Or would a chapstick lesbian also be a kind of butch lesbian? Or do we think chapstick is more like soft femme? Stud, as I understand it, is like very particularly for Black community and other people of color. Like butch masculine lesbians who are people of color is how I understand studs. Like stud is practically its own gender identity, and it's racialized. Yeah, touch me not is a sexual role. It was like, I don't want you to touch me. I want to give you attention, but I don't want you to touch me sexually. Emma points out that types within the Women Love Women community are not about body types in the way that the Men Who Love Men archetypes are. That's a good point, right? Yeah, so it's not like there's not like a particular word for like a fat masculine butch versus like a skinny masculine butch. Like I guess we're at a point where we might refer to a skinny masculine butch as being twinkie, but I think that mostly stems from the fun confusion. Do you guys remember that post from years ago that was like a guy who was talking about being at a New Year's celebration and seeing a cute twink and making out with them and the twink thought that he was like a masculine woman, and so they both were gay, or like they both were gay, but then they did a straight kiss, just like not realizing what happened. And then there's transbians with their own unique vibe of not giving a fuck. Yeah, respect. Twinkie. No, like twinkish. Like twinkish. Like a twink. You know? Like, we might describe, like, a skinny, masculine lesbian as being like a twink. Twinkish. Twinkie. Two of you did it. One of you did it in YouTube chat. One of you did it in website chat, making a joke about Twinkie. You goobers. I aspire to look like Link from Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, possibly with a really cool arm tattoo. Bro, I want to be serious with you right now. I really did seriously contemplate for a bit what would be required. I was thinking about getting a tattoo of this arm thing that he's got going on. Like, it's... So his arm, spoilers, fully gets replaced from the elbow down, but then the upper part of his arm is just tattooed. And is this a big enough picture? Okay, it's not really a very big picture. I can zoom it in a little bit. So this is what he looks like. And I was seriously contemplating, like, I think that, so right here it goes all black, and I don't want an all black tattoo. Just not gonna fucking happen. So what I thought instead was maybe like having it end in a black cuff right here, like right around the point where it becomes all black. Like maybe just having a, you can see my mouse, right? Yeah. Having like a black cuff and then having the rest of the tattoo come up and over. I really did seriously contemplate that for a little bit. And it is still quite appealing to me, but I have a different idea for the next tattoo that I'm gonna get. I actually want my next tattoo, I think, to be a cover-up. I think I want to get a sunflower up here covering up the existing tattoo that I have there. Oh, and there's Futch. Yeah, Futch. A femme butch. Chapstick and lipstick is a gradient towards femme. There's also diesel femmes. What is a diesel femme? Is that like a lady who's a trucker who is also a feminine lesbian? Does that sound... Stud is a term in the black lesbian community. Okay, that's what I thought. But a tattoo, man, tattoo is so far down my list right now of things that I'm going to get in the near future. I actually did recently start writing some things down. I titled this, A Wish List of Questionable Practicality. It's like the things that I want on this wish list are not necessarily all practical. Like a nice cutting board. I have 2 cutting boards. They're just both like hand-me-downs that are broken in some way. Like one of them used to have little feet that have broken off, and another one like used to have more surface area on each of the sides, and those side pieces just broke off at some point. So I'm like, I really want like a big, nice, beautiful cutting board, but that would be expensive. A food processor, because, oh my god, your boy wants to make hummus at home. There's so many things that a food processor would allow me to do. I would get fucked up on a food processor. Slightly further down the list, just to keep things in the same genre, stock pot. I need a big stock pot. Because I like to butcher 3 chickens at the same time and then cook up their carcasses to make a delicious broth. So those are like my kitchen things. We also really need another bookshelf. We just don't have... We're at this point where like I have books sitting around because there is not any space on our bookshelf. We have... I guess there's 3 bookshelves in the house. One of them could have more stuff on it, but it's in my siblings' room. And if it's not full, then it's because they don't have enough books personally to fill it. And I'm not going to put my books in there because that just seems rude. But yeah, we fully need like another big bookshelf to start filling up with books and curios, because that's currently how we display our curios as well. Like my bookshelf is just off frame here, and I've got like, this is the favor from the Huntsman at the Kansas City Renaissance Festival, and this is my Time Lord pocket watch that I think still lights up. Yeah, it still lights up, but it doesn't tick, which is fascinating. Yeah, I've just got a bunch of curios on my shelf. And then what else is on my wish list? Oh, okay. As far as like semi-practical things, I do need a new keyboard, because this keyboard, the keys randomly don't work sometimes, and also it has a volume dial that just randomly, like my volume for my computer right now is on maximum. Oh, it's at 96% because the thing just like does things randomly. It just randomly changes the volume, and it usually increases the volume by quite a lot, which sucks because I am often wearing headphones, or you know, for me a comfortable volume is like 36, and it's at 96 right now. So sometimes I blow out my eardrums randomly. So keyboard is kind of shit, needs to be replaced. Also, it doesn't have hot swappable keys, which is an issue. And then I need a new mouse because the plastic is starting to fall off of my mouse. It still mostly works, but like there's a protective like coating on the scroll wheel that is starting to wear off. So it's just like my finger has a spot where it's just a little bit raw all the time if I've been scrolling for a while. So that's fun. So I need a new mouse. That's a couple of practical things on my list. Oh, and then like, I'd love to get some like wireless headphones, because my husband got some noise. He got some that he's like, these are pretty effective noise canceling headphones, even though they are not necessarily marketed as such. And I'm like, yeah, legit. Because, okay, here. I just want you guys to know that I legitimately, so these are 3M brand head coverings. Like you can see 3M brand head coverings. This is my hearing protection that my partner got a pair of these so that he can like grind concrete, because his last job involved like grinding concrete and shit like that really, really loud for a very long period of time. And I got these to protect my hearing at the gun range, because we were going to an indoor gun range where there was a bunch of concrete. We were like inside a concrete room firing our weapons, so fucking loud. So that's why I got these. And sometimes I have to wear these very high quality noise canceling ear protection to just handle things like the fact that someone is mowing next door. Like someone is mowing their lawn next door. I'm sitting here like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. And then I have to put them on my head in a very specific way so that it doesn't cause like suction on my eardrums. It's so nice in here. The only thing that sucks in here is that like, I now understand. So you know about the room, the super quiet room. You guys are familiar, I assume, with the super quiet room. Anyway, short story. That's why I need wireless headphones that are slightly noise canceling. Anyway, oh my God, what was I in the middle of saying? I was saying something. The ADHD strikes again. What was it? I just said you guys know about something. What was I saying? You look like you should be signaling aircraft with those on. Yeah, no shit. What was I about to say? I have no idea. I completely etch-a-sketch, just like perfectly clean slate. I have no idea what I was about to talk about. Is someone who said something about Kamala Harris? Why are you guys talking about Kamala Harris all of a sudden? I fucking hate that lady. Oh, you're just still being a little weirdo? Oh, you're just still being a little weirdo? Aw. Oh God, yes, the room. Do you guys know about the room, the super quiet room? There's like a super sound dampening room that when people go in there, they don't like it. Like the maximum amount of time that someone can spend in that room by themselves is like 30 minutes, because it's so intensely quiet that you can like hear the blood rushing through your veins. And that did happen to me the last time I was wearing these for an extended period of time. I was like, oh, I can hear blood rushing through my veins in my ear. It was the most insane thing. It was crazy. The super quiet room. Like a sensory deprivation room. No, it's not a sensory deprivation room. Hold on. The super quiet room. Earth's quietest room. In Earth's quietest room, you can hear yourself blink. Smithsonian Mag from 2024. Okay, so these are called anechoic chambers. A-N-E-C-H-O-I-C. Anechoic chamber at Orfield Laboratories in Minnesota. This room is so eerily noiseless that visitors have used it to see how long they can stand the sound of their own bodies. Inside the room, it's silent, so silent that the background noise is actually measured in negative decibels, meaning it's below the threshold of human hearing. In 2004, the room clocked in at negative 9.4 A-weighted decibels, or dBA. After improvements to the space, 8 years later, it had a reading of negative 13 dBA. So yeah, visitors report hearing the sound of blood pumping in their heads or moving through their veins. You can even hear the eyelids, the sound of your eyelids shutting upon blinking. When it's quiet, your ears will adapt, and the quieter the room, the more things you'll hear, according to Stephen Orfield, who founded the lab. He says you'll hear your heart beating, sometimes you can hear your lungs, hear your stomach gurgling loudly. In the anechoic chamber, you become the sound. Okay, so I hate that. That's terrifying. But that's what I was experiencing. The last time I wore these, this hearing protection for an extended period of time, in my right ear specifically, I could hear my blood rushing. It was very, very, very weird. I would probably just hear my tinnitus the entire time. I will say you are never more familiar with your tinnitus than when you're wearing noise canceling. Well, I actually don't know. If I were to get electronic noise canceling headphones, I think that would probably drown out my tinnitus a little bit, because it is actively playing a noise that counteracts the noise around you, whereas this is just sealing in my ears. Just fully sealing everything in. So this is actually a full absence of sound that makes you intimately familiar with your tinnitus, for sure. Yeah, I think probably that's why I want to get some wireless headphones. Like, first of all, so that they're less obtrusive than these, but so that they're playing noise actively. Paul, you're just not funny. I don't know why you think that your transphobia is necessary here, but it's not. I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. It's really interesting to me, and I've said this before, like, the decision process that people like, the fact that you have to sit there for 1 full minute before you can comment. You have to subscribe and then wait 1 full minute, and the fact that you sat there for 1 full minute and you were like, I'm gonna go harass this person and make their life worse for no reason. Like, I'm sorry, it's just not funny. Like, it's not cute. I think that you should maybe go talk to your wife. Like, maybe go enjoy the evening with your wife instead of being a fucking annoying piece of shit in my chat. Maybe go talk to your wife. Or if you're divorced, maybe go contemplate why that happened. No, I officially blocked that person. They will never comment on my channel again. They can still watch, but they'll never comment again. And they won't be able to comment anything in the live chat. So, bold of you to assume he has a wife. Yeah, no. I'm being really charitable assuming that there's a woman in your life who cares about you. Yeah, it's more than sensory deprivation. It's like negative sound in these chambers. Yeah, for sure. Oh my gosh, listen. So, okay, actually, I stopped reading this paragraph. Check this out. Okay, so it started at negative 9.4 decibels. in 2004. In 2012, they had improved the room and got it to negative 13. And then temporarily this chamber was unseated as the quietest place on Earth when a chamber in Redmond, Washington in 2015 set a new record at negative 20.35 decibels. And then Orfield Laboratories took the record back in November 2021 with a new measurement of negative 24.9 decibels. That's really, really impressive, you guys. And, like, no wonder people go a little bit crazy inside there. Yeah, trying to make strangers on YouTube feel bad by trolling is such a loser behavior. Like, what I think is so funny is that these people think that them in my YouTube chat has the power to derail my day or, like, make me feel bad. It's the weirdest thing. Like, I think that they're coming in here thinking that they're about to get one over on me, like, that they're gonna perturb me in any way, and I'm just like, you're like, are you okay, babe? Like, are you good? It doesn't bother me. You just look pathetic. Like, okay, so I'm gonna relate this to World of Warcraft. Hit the like button if you're about to leave. I'm talking about shitty behavior. I really like to PvP. That's kind of what I'm all about. I'm like, let's fight player versus player. That's what I want to do. I mean, there's other things that I enjoy about it, but, like, that's ultimately the reason that we play, is to play versus other players, right? And there are some people I've noticed, particularly in my server cluster, and I play WoW Classic, people will camp low-level areas. So, like, I'm Alliance, and the opposite faction is Horde, and we play specifically on servers where you can attack each other in the world, not only in specific PvP arenas, but just anywhere in the world, mostly. And sometimes people will go to areas where low-level players are trying to quest and gain experience, and they will take their maximum level characters and they will start killing these low-level characters just for fun. And I think that behavior is pathetic and fucking, like, I don't respect people who do it. Because often, if you, like, log off of your low-level character and you go get your higher-level character, and you're like, bro, fine, let's fucking square up. You wanted to square up? Let's go. They will either leave or you will kill them 9 times out of 10 because these people are bad at PvP at the higher level. So they go grief lower-level characters because that's what makes them feel good. And that's, like, pathetic, you know? And that's how I feel about these people in chat trying to troll me, is like, you're pathetic. Do you not have something better to do at 5 o'clock on a Wednesday, you know? Good night at the end of the rainbow. Have a good day. Or it's good night for me. It's good morning for you, I guess. I want the superpower to make your day a little better. Right, yeah. Make your day better. I thought tinnitus was not actually an environmental sound. Well, that's what I was trying to say, and maybe I just said it wrong. What I was trying to say is that in this noise nullification chamber that I can put on my head, I can hear my tinnitus quite well. Whereas typically if there's background noise, like if my fan is blowing or something, I don't notice the tinnitus as much, even if it is still present. So I was thinking if I had noise canceling headphones, like electronic noise canceling headphones, which the way that they work is they hear the sound coming in from this outside, and then on the inside they play sound to actively negate the sound that's happening outside, like to cancel out the wavelengths of sound. So I am operating under the assumption that my tinnitus would be a little bit less noticeable with passive electronic protection because it's actively playing a bunch of sound to counteract the other sound. Does that make any sense? But maybe I'm wrong. A girl said she really liked my outfit yesterday, and that made my day a little better. See? It's so easy to make people's day better. These people come into my chat, and they're like... This guy was basically... He kept saying things like, I identify as a Japanese schoolgirl. And, like, you know, when I was a kid, I felt better when I put on my mom's lipstick and stuff. And, like, in the way that's clearly trolling. It's not like, oh, this is a sweet, like, person who's trying to figure themselves out. Like, I can tell the difference. This person was just trolling. And it's like, but and you could have just like left me alone. That's the thing. Like you could have just not said something. Oh my god, I'm throwing my hair ties everywhere. Hair ties. Like you could just leave me alone and not say anything, or you could come in and be like, wow, this is a really thoughtful discussion. You know, even though you're trans and I don't like you because you're trans, I can tell that you are a thoughtful individual. Like, you could say something nice. You could even pop in and be, like, a little bit weird and be like, wow, you're so pretty. And I would be like, okay, thanks. But, like, ultimately that would still be better than just being transphobic. So strange. Okay, Kenai says, I do have active noise-canceling headphones and it doesn't help my tinnitus. Okay. Maybe because it's, like, actually literally canceling out. So maybe it ultimately is quieter in there rather than... full of opposite sound. I don't know. Drea says, my mama taught me if I had nothing good to say, I should keep my mouth shut. Right. Wouldn't the world be such a better place? I've been on Instagram a lot lately, which we've talked about recently. I was complaining about how I was getting a shit ton of sponsored feed stuff that was like right wing, fucking Heritage Foundation, fucking people who want you dead. Like, oh my god, okay, great. But I've also noticed people in the comments are just like nasty. And it just, and like I've noticed it on Facebook too, to an extent, you know, obviously. Basically, I'm saying like on what I consider to be normie platforms, people are just so nasty to one another. It's just so rude, and it feels really unnecessary to me. And like, I don't know. I can't imagine being that hateful all the time. Sometimes even my partner is like complaining to me about something, and I'm like, I can't imagine putting energy into caring about this, you know? I'm like, just seems like you're big mad over something that I would not possibly care about. Like, I don't know. Okay, yeah, the active noise suppression is when they're electronically playing sound, and then the something like what I have is passive protection. Yeah. Thank you, at the end of the rainbow. Yes, I hope you have a good start to the rest of your day. The world would be so much nicer if people could just not troll and do rage baity stuff. I've seen videos of like comic conventions where people go in and harass attendees. Like, why waste your time? I mean, I think that the reason is making money, you know, that I think people will actively engage in antisocial behavior if they think it will make them money in that situation. Now, I don't really understand it in this situation with Paul in the YouTube chat or anybody in the YouTube chat. Like, I don't understand it in that context, but at least I get it. If you're posting videos that you hope will go viral, like, okay, yeah, our society incentivizes people to be horrible to one another in order to make money. Sure, like, prank channels have existed for years. We've been having conversations about what comprises a tasteful prank channel for forever, for a long time. So I don't really find it terribly surprising that people are, you know, we're expanding the concept of a prank video. So that part, at least, I kind of get. I don't, like, again, I don't really know what the motivation is on the trolling in YouTube chat. Because, I mean, again, it's just like, I mean, I guess I can imagine that what's going on is you feel very small and you need to make someone else feel small in order for you to be distracted from how small you feel, which is why it's pathetic. Like the fact, like when y'all come in chat, not you guys usually, you know, those who are chill, y'all are good. But the people who come into the YouTube chat to do this kind of thing is like, yeah, I just genuinely think that you are wounded small people who can only feel better about yourself by putting someone else down. And because you lack your own feeling of esteem, you're pathetic. Like, it's fine, like for you to hate yourself, but for you to project that onto other people is like not cute, and it doesn't affect me at all. So it's like you're not accomplishing anything here. You like, in order for you to feel better, I must feel worse about myself, and I don't feel worse about myself. So all you're doing is lowering yourself, degrading yourself, demeaning yourself, really. Truly, yeah, the world is stuffed with wounded small people. The perception of anonymity makes people feel like they can just say whatever they want. Okay, I'm just gonna run real fast and fill up my water. I'll be right back, I swear. Don't go anywhere. I told you I'd be back soon. Now I have water. Yay! I slept for longer than I wanted and missed the stream. It's okay, Hoot. We're gonna go for like another hour. Typically we go until 6 on Wednesdays. And I'm feeling pretty okay about my energy levels, so we're all set. Ooh, man. Water just fucking hits. Just hits. You have no idea how it hits. Anyway, I do appreciate everybody who's been hanging out. I am ultimately, you know, I guess I want to do like a final touch on the I Saw the TV Glow video. Ultimately, I'm fairly happy with how it went. You know, like, I feel like no matter what, if my current videos, which are like I'm trying to do something brand new on the channel, if they're still getting approximately the same views as my old political stuff, that's a great sign. And now we just need to continue doing what we're doing and rebalance toward like the audience being primed to expect me talking about movies. And like I'm still getting pretty good impressions and click through and everything, and like all of this is happening in the middle of these big seismic changes to the algorithm where they're starting to use AI more in helping put videos in front of you. So if I'm performing about the same as usual during a hard pivot in content during this big change, I honestly feel like we're doing pretty well. So like thank you so much for everybody who's been watching my videos and hanging out during streams. Like I am feeling pretty good about the fact that this is my job right now. I still feel like, you know, it's unfortunate that I don't make more money doing it, but like, fucking welcome to being an artist. Like, that's how it always works. So, yes, good time for a body to remember to hydrate too. You better drink some water. I've only had 3 cups of espresso today. Yeah, you need to drink water. Silly bean. 7. Are you the 7 who's called in on the Transatlantic call-in show? We had someone who I think legally changed their name to 7. It was pretty fucking legit. I'm like, damn. There are some names that show up on the, like, people who call in on Takis have, like, some absolutely stellar name choices. You know? Okay, not the same 7. Like, I think 7 as a name goes so hard. I don't know why, but it's such a good name. Not only are these trolls shit, but they're not even original. If you're gonna be a shithead, at least have the courtesy to be funny about it. Fucking true. That's another thing, too, is, like, it's so low energy. It's so low effort. Like, what? You could at least try to be original, but that's the thing, is they're so lazy. They don't even put, like, it literally, yes, that's the one who I'm thinking of, Psychoplebeian. Yeah, I think that they believe that they're above you so much that they won't even put any kind of original spin on the joke. Right? Like, in this case, Paul was just ridiculing trans women by being like, yeah, I know. I'm identifying as a Japanese schoolgirl. You know, let's treat me as legitimate. Just completely bad faith, of course. But like, yeah, you don't even have the decency to be original with being mean. If you're gonna be mean, yeah, be original. Be original about it. I would call, but I'm not sure what to talk about. Yeah, please don't call in if you're just like, I want to talk to you, but I don't really have an idea of what I want to talk about. It's like, no, I want people who have like a specific thing in mind. I identify as a, try identifying a sense of humor. Holy fuck. True. Yes, exactly. Seven of Nine from Star Trek inspired it, but it's just a screen name because I have a very common name among trans women in my circles. Yeah, totally. I identify as an attack helicopter. Okay, proud of you for finding who you are. Good job. Yeah. I guess the best way to get a rise out of people or undermine that is to treat it like it's legitimate. Right? Wasn't that what Josh Seder was doing? Josh Seder is like, haha, lol, I'm trying to make leftists look stupid. And it's like, all you did was prove that this community of people is like at least kind enough to be gender affirming to people who we hate, you know? Like, what you've learned is that we maintain a certain level of kindness and decorum even when you are being shitty and hateful to us, you know? The chat trolls are using their best material, IMO. Yeah, they're not are they really sending their best? Are they really sending their best people? I don't know, man. I don't even know what it would entail to hear an original anti-trans joke that isn't just a spin on one of the two jokes that they have. That would be... I would even like to see it. Something beyond like, LOL, this woman has balls. LOL, this woman has a penis. LOL, I identify as a fucking monkey. Like, you gotta come up with something. There's gotta be something out there. And this is, so again, I don't really like ContraPoints in general, but she did make a good point that like, trans people are more able to be funny about transness, and we are also better able to perform dark humor around transness because it's our darkness. Like, there are so many fucking jokes to be made from a gender transition. It's, you know, genuinely... We have not reached the bottom of that barrel yet, by far. So yeah, it would be hilarious to me to see like an original anti-trans joke. I've been a mod for nearly 15 years. It's always the same few jokes. True. This woman has balls. Where is she? That I may better avoid her. True. People keep telling me I'm mentally ill, and I'm like, yeah, I am. This is not an insult. It's just a fact. Yeah, I guess I take some issue. It's complicated, right? Because, like, I have been diagnosed with borderline, but also, like, it's very well managed, relatively speaking. And, like, I have been diagnosed with PTSD, but that's relatively well managed. Like, I'm slipping into a space where I feel like maybe I am finally succeeding in downregulating my sympathetic nervous system. Maybe. I don't know. It might take very little to get it back up and running where it was, but like I think I'm doing some good work in, you know, my shoulders aren't like up like this all the time. I'm trying to like tuck my chin to improve my breathing function by like realigning my shit in my neck and everything. Queen of Nod, I hope you have some friends that you can talk to. It sounds like you're dealing with a lot right now. We have one of the best comedians of all time in Eddie Izzard. Ooh, yeah. She is pretty funny. I guess, like, we were supposed to be watching that, like, with one of my friends, but then I just kind of drifted away from that friend, sort of, and I just don't care as much. Like, they were really hyped to watch Eddie Izzard, and I was just like, I don't really care that much. So I haven't really seen a lot of them. So yeah, but considering that my mental shit is like fairly well managed, it's like obviously the implication is that being trans is what makes me mentally ill. So if I say like, yes, I'm mentally ill, but that's not like a problem here, like that's not the problem. And like, because they'll tend to point at those things too and go like, aha, you're not really trans, you just have an unstable sense of identity, which is one of the fucking symptoms of BPD. And, or they'll be like, aha, see, like you do need someone paternalistically telling you that you can't access medicine that you say that you need. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't really enjoy personally playing the, yes, I'm mentally ill, so what card. Maybe I'm just a little sensitive about it. Maybe there's a little internalized ableism about it. Maybe I feel like, ooh, well, whatever, I don't even count as mentally ill anymore because I'm done with my therapy. I don't know. Maybe there's a sense like I need to be separate from those crazy people. I'm willing to admit that there is a nebulous feeling in here that I don't really know what to do with right now. I have a modicum of formal education in psychology, so my patience for the way people talk about trans people and mental illness isn't very high. Like, wow, you think it's a delusion. I wonder if psychologists ever tried treating it like that. Wow, amazing. Dude, we definitely go over that on Takis. People are like, this is delusional, or like, what if, these people need therapy. And it's like, dude, do you think that we didn't try that? Do you think that we didn't spend like decades trying to give people talk therapy and antidepressants and even like antipsychotic medication and stuff? Like, we have tried everything. We've tried electroshock therapy on people. We've tried all kinds of shit to get them to not be trans or get them to not be gay. And it turns out that they just fucking are. Like, I don't know, man. We did try that, and that's also true for like a lot of individual trans people. It's like, oh, do you think that this trans person didn't try at first just to be a feminine man? Maybe they were like, oh, maybe I'm just gay. And then it turns out like, oh, I'm not at all attracted to men, so there's still a problem here. And it's like, oh, it turns out I'm trans and I'm attracted to women. Oh, I figured it out. But yeah, like, as though we don't all think, oh shit, can I try literally anything except being trans? Like, we all fucking know that being trans is going to make our lives harder. So we typically try to run through several different other options first to see if they will function. Like, can we get by just being a little bit effeminate or being a little bit masculine and not actually transitioning? Are we going to be happy enough in that situation? Yeah, we fucking tried. Almost every individual trans person, as well as like the medical community. Yeah, we tried to treat it like whatever, you're just delusional. Doesn't work that way. Yeah, no, conversion therapy will work this time for realsies. Exactly, Viren. Drea says, I spent over 15 years pretending to be a man, and it left me with permanent emotional damage. Yep, true. Hoot says, I once did get a troll telling me I'm sick, and I was like, yeah, I used to be. I had testosterone poisoning, and it was touch and go for a while, but I'm better now. I don't think he figured out the joke. Yeah. Ridiculous. Okay, I wanted to run something by you guys. I have a question about another idea that I've had for the channel. So I've got like some ideas floating around right now for like what kind of content I'm going to make in the future. Okay, obviously right now I'm working on a Mulan video. I'm also about to go in and workshop a bunch of YouTube shorts and maybe try just like throwing some stuff at the wall with YouTube shorts and seeing what sticks. Ooh, that's rather tight. I gotta move this armband down a little bit. It's hurting me. Okay, so I am, making the Mulan video. I'm also considering making a video about Star Wars Andor, which will probably go up on my second channel. I'm just gonna put it on a different channel because I don't think it's gonna perform very well on my channel. It probably won't perform very well on a second channel either, but if I try it on a second channel and it doesn't do very well, at least I won't mind deleting it and re-uploading it on my main channel. Whatever. Anyway, but also, I wanted to ask you guys what you think about the idea of... So, I have this video that continuously gets clicks for years and years and years. Like, a lot of the time when I make videos, I get the first 2 days and then it tapers off, and like I don't usually get more clicks on it later. Even content that I make that is meant to be more evergreen longer term. And I don't know, like how to come out as trans / non-binary. Still, I get clicks every month on that video, you know? But sometimes I make a video like that and it doesn't get clicks. But I have this video that I made fucking forever ago. In 2019, I uploaded this video, bisexual versus pansexual, what's the difference? And I hate this video, if I'm being completely honest, because I am so underweight, and because I think in this video I landed on like, I guess I'm omnisexual, but then literally 2 weeks later I was like, oh, this is fucking annoying, I'm just gonna identify as queer. So it doesn't represent my actual sexuality, and I look like a seriously ill person because I was just really underweight at the time, so I hate that video. It still gets like 1,500 to 2,000 views per month, so I can't really delete it. But it is, like, that is content that is continuing to categorize my channel as, like, queer educational content rather than media content, which is what I'm trying to do now. So I was kind of thinking about making a video about media that will cover the topic of bisexual and pansexual. And I'm kind of curious what you guys think about doing that. Like, so maybe at the end of the bisexual versus pansexual video, I can have a link like, hey, if you want to explore this topic further, here's a video. But for it to be talking about bi versus pan in a movies or celebrities context, and there's like a lot of different angles we could hit this from. So I was just kind of curious what you guys think. Like, what would be a good angle to discuss this from, you know? Because there's, you know, you could talk about like the representation of bisexual characters in media. Or like, do characters more often now describe themselves as queer? Or do they more often eschew labels entirely or something? Or we could talk about celebrities themselves and how being out in the industry has changed over time. You know, like, it starts with gay history, of course. You know, when I just found out the other day watching Independence Day that Harvey Fierstein was one of the first out gay people working in Hollywood. So I guess I was kind of curious what you guys thought as far as like, is there a particular angle? I missed the start of your pitch. Okay, so the start of my pitch was I made this video called Bisexual versus Pansexual, What's the Difference? Like 6 years ago, and I still get clicks on that video all the time. So I'm trying to make a bridging piece of content where people want to click for bisexual versus pansexual education, but I want them to see media conversations, and like I want to start couching queer educational content in media content. So how can I talk about bisexual versus pansexual, or like how can I talk about bisexual, pansexual, polysexual, omnisexual, queer, like all of these different labels? How can I talk about them in a context of either media analysis or pop culture? You could mention how Lando Calrissian was made canonically pansexual in Solo, a Star Wars story. Okay, so yeah, I could talk about like the evolution of queer identity in film. I guess I was kind of leaning toward doing something more like how actors actually identify But I guess you could kind of do both. I don't know. I feel like I need to pick one angle. Cause like, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I was thinking about the fact that like didn't Wayne Brady come out as as pansexual specifically? And like, we've got all these queer female artists right now. You know, Lil Nas came out as gay and then came out as bisexual. Chappell Roan identifies as a lesbian. I think Billie Eilish identifies as queer, and I think that behaviorally, functionally, she's bisexual because she's like experienced men and women. So there is like an interesting conversation about celebrity culture changing, but I feel like that's different in a way. I guess it correlates though to representation in the media itself, like in the movies themselves that they're playing. Thank you, Miles. That's very sweet of you. My hair is a little bit less glorious than it was when I took the thumbnail picture, but that's natural. It happens. I admit I often use the shorthand of queer to simply refer to LGBTQ+. Yeah, I use queer community as a catch-all usually. Sometimes I will say like queer and trans community to show that I'm kind of being encompassing of both of those groups, but I rarely say LGBTQIA+. Like, I just don't do that. Then there's Tom. I'm an actor. Of course, I've had gay sex. Hardy. Yeah, I hesitate. Oh, man, and we could talk about, like, the fact that people said that Channing Tatum was bisexual, and then I looked it up recently, and it turns out that actually he never said that. And, like, so there's contention around whether, like, are we outing an actor against their wishes? Like, I made a joke about Channing Tatum being bisexual in my video, my original recording of the video about She's the Man, because that was like Channing Tatum's breakout role, and I said something about it, and then I looked it up and it wasn't true, and I deleted it. I deleted what I said. Because yeah, Channing Tatum is not bisexual, or at least he hasn't said he's bisexual, and so it's not cool to continue speculating on that. Kenai says, that's the mix I'm looking at for my channel. My own journey as a bi-gender person has been so different than anyone else I've talked to or heard about, but I've also had a career in media that people want to hear about as well, and my gender journey was and still is tightly woven into all that, so trans content mixed in with Doctor Who and stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. I think that I encourage trans people to get involved in making content because, first of all, it is obviously one of the pathways to stability through self-employment. It's not easy to get to a place of stability through self-employment. And even though my income is relatively stable, like, I still don't make a lot of money. And I'm trying to break out. So hopefully, the growth of the channel will continue. And it is growing right now. I'm getting more subs every day right now. So it is definitely viable to be trans and talk about content. You just have to be ready for the fact that there's going to be a lot of people who won't let you talk about anything else besides being trans. I mean, you can, obviously. It's like, yeah, I'm going to continue making videos about stuff that isn't trans, but people will always derail the conversation in the comments to talk about your gender if you don't pass. Like, just be aware that there is always going to be some amount of people in the comments being like, you're confused, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, dude, I'm literally talking about fucking a TV show. Can you shut the fuck up? Like, why are you so obsessed with gender? That's the only thing that's gratifying about it, is I can be like, dude, this is a video about, like, Star Wars Andor, where I don't talk about queer people or there's no trans people in it at all. Like, can I fucking exist for a minute? Like, you are obsessed and you need to chill out. Thank you, Hoot, for the tier 1 sub. Enjoy your dicks and other emojis. And thank you for raising us to $105 on the stream. Oh, you know what? I just lost the game. I rickrolled myself, and then I lost the game. Isn't that crazy? My brain was like, never gonna give you up, and then I lost the game. I only now realized why my username was white, and I fixed it. Hey, there you go. Noah, it says that it's your cake day on the website chat. There's a little emoji of a dove or something next to your name, and it says cake day, which I think means that it's the anniversary of the day you made your account on my website, I think. Yeah, Malena joining chat just in time to lose the game. Fuck you. You're welcome. Love you. Yep, I made you all lose the game. Sorry, not sorry. The obsession part really does suck as it tends to reduce us to a one-dimensional human. Right, yeah, like this is part of why I've been trying to negotiate getting on other shows on the line, not on a regular basis necessarily, but just like occasionally. You know, if I host Takis 2 or 3 times in a month, I feel like if I'm on one of our other shows, and we have 6 shows a week, every week, so we have like 24 shows. If I host 2 or 3 out of those 24 shows on Takis, then I think it would be fine if like once a month or every other month, I'm on one other show. Like if I get on one episode of Chewed Gum or one episode of the Sunday show or something, I don't know. Because I want to be valued for something other than my transness and other than my opinions about being trans and the argumentation that I have perfected regarding being trans. Like, clearly, I'm still fully capable of handling religious callers. I demonstrated that last week. It was I felt a little bit out of my element, partially because it's Matt's show. And it had been a while, and we got some callers that I was like, are you okay? Like, you might be genuinely having a break with reality here. But it's like, I'm clearly still fully capable of making my arguments for atheism and against religion. And I have a lot of other shit that I know about, too. Oh, Hoot, congrats. Figured out I want bottom surgery and what type of bottom surgery I want after 6 years of thinking about it. There you go. Good job. You can't lose the game if you don't play. And then Banana Brains comments, yes, you can. It's called forfeiting. If you don't show up to a game, you automatically lose. True. And it's, you know, it's a similar thing. Like, obviously, I've been talking about it on the line recently, but on my channel, it's like, yes, I do bring a queer and trans perspective to everything I do, but I want to be able to talk about other things. Like, I'm going to post on a secondary channel about Star Wars Andor because I just want to talk about a woman, not a queer woman or anything. I just want to talk about a woman and how she's portrayed in the show. And I'm going to put it on my other channel. And if it gets anything, which it might not, it might just completely tank on the other channel. I don't know. Let's find out. But if it goes out to a broader audience, in any situation, if it goes out to a broader audience, there are going to be people who will not let me talk about a TV show, like a woman in a TV show who's not even queer, without them bringing up my queerness. Oh, we got to 100 likes. Thank you, everybody. I love that. We haven't gotten a lot of those recently. So that's nice. To getting a stream to 100 likes. We're getting closer and closer and closer every day to having 100 viewers in our just chatting streams. Can you imagine getting 100 people in here just chatting? Oh my god, I would love that. Instead of only ever getting 100 people in here when we talk about some outrageous intra-community drama. I value you because we have the same haircut and you just seem cool. Well, thanks, babe. We have the same haircut. I like having a floofy. I don't know. I don't love the floofiness actually. That's just because it's like my curly hair gets frizzy sometimes, but it's nice. I like having volume, I guess. Wait, 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 wait. You can't be existing outside of the box that allows society to shorthand their judgment of you. I know. Yeah. How do you get that haircut? I just shave the sides of my head. Like, that's... I just maintain this myself by shaving my own head. And I usually put all of my hair up in a bun. Or maybe two buns. I put one bun up here and another bun in the back to... And then I go with a mirror and I hold a mirror up behind me and I'm looking in a mirror and I go bzzz, bzzz, and then I go bzzz. That's what happens. Hello, kitty. Back for a bit. Managed to get the porch puppy safe. So, mostly done. Hey, there you go. I thought it was just the one side shaved like mine was. Nope. Side of my head gets hot. I gotta flip the hair over. Sometimes people are like, what happened to your hair? I thought it was the other way. And then I'm like, whoosh, it is the other way, bitch. Whoosh, now it's the other way again. Yeah, it's nice. Oh, dude. So my younger sibling asked me to give them the Ramona Flowers haircut. And frankly, I think it looks good. I am not like, I don't have a cosmetology degree. I have only ever like cut my own hair just to trim the ends and everything. And I fully like gave them a Ramona Flowers haircut. And I'm like, damn, that looks good. Congratulations to me. Pat myself on the forehead. It took like 2 hours, of course. It always takes way longer than if you were getting it professionally done to just have somebody do it. But yeah. Sometimes I'm like staring at their hair and I'm like, I need to go in and like fix this part. I need to like trim that or like fix that part. But it overall looks really good. Is it straight down the back too? How does it look at the back? I don't know. I don't ever look at what it looks like in the back. I have no idea. I guess I'll see it in a few minutes when it comes up on my viewer. Listen, you can't take anything that I say during a stream and like hold me to it, Banana Brains. I'm like, my mouth is running on autopilot. So you can't hold me to anything that I say during stream. Man, I was just thinking about dyeing my hair. I was just thinking maybe I want to dye like a streak in the front or something. But I also could just not do that. It goes to a V at the back. Yep, sure thing, sure does. I like it anyway. You know, it's nice. Feels clean. I hope you don't mind theft, because I might be stealing that haircut for myself. Please, I don't care. Like, this haircut is so great, because it helps you stay cool, and I put my hair up, and then it's easy for me to put my mask on, because the mask, like, the first strap sits on top of my hair, and the second strap goes down below. Like, it's just good stuff. Do the streak. What color should the streak be? I know, obviously I have to bleach it first, but like a streak in the front somewhere. It has to work both ways with my hair too. So should it just be like just this patch in the front? Should I pretend to have whatever Steph Sanyotti has and just get this part of my hair dyed, like bleached, and then dye it a different color, and then I'll just have like a little streak of that? Green. Hi, Sophie. Welcome in. A pink streak. Yeah, that's very Aaron Hansen. A pink streak. Everybody's going green. Guys, the thing is, when green fades out, it looks so gross and yellow. Green is all over your branding, but I'm also biased because green is my favorite color. I guess I could look into it. I don't know. Green is the only appropriate color for this channel. I guess so. I'm about to have someone do logo work on my logo for the channel. Right now it's my face, but I do... So my friend Dizzy worked up this idea for me, and I want to get it finalized, but then I'm just not sure with the future of the channel. Like, I really am hoping I can just continue working on my main channel rather than having to start over. But like right now, my secondary channel is called Musing Moss. And that's kind of the only idea I have for a logo is my Musing Moss logo that my friend Dizzy helped me work up an idea for. So it's like, do I use that on my main channel where I don't know, like I haven't decided. I guess the question is like, if I upload a couple of videos on my second channel, if that one starts to get more momentum as a movie review channel than my current one, like if it's getting more views consistently or something, then like I might have to shift over to that other channel. I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure this shit out. It's so stupid that I can't just commit to something, that I can't just be like, no, I've decided I'm going to stick to my main channel and just force people to figure out like, yes, I'm going to talk about trans issues, but I'm also going to talk about movies that don't have anything to do with being trans. What is the name on your second channel? It's Musing Moss. Like, my main channel is at Luxander Real. My second channel is at Musing Moss. And I'm like, what I really would love to do is just take this main channel and rebrand it in some way as Musing Moss. Like, Luxander's Musing Moss, or Musing Moss by Luxander. Like, I want to change the name so that we can get a better logo, like a more coherent logo. Because right now I don't have like a functional, coherent logo for Luxander. I don't really have like a great way to stylize that. You're going to be buying 6-week touch-up on the roots to keep a bleached color job. I would recommend a bright teal blue because it will fade to a very pretty sea green. I have done this trick. It does work to then dye green over blue. It will fix the yellow fade. Okay. I know that I would have to redo it, or I would have to just like, you know, do it once and then deal with the fact that it's going to be growing out for the rest of my life. I don't know. There's a lot of streamers who just talk about stuff that interests them. You don't necessarily need to specialize. I mean, the algorithm does favor niche content more. But yeah, I mean, I just have so much history on this channel. I would feel like really shitty about having to start it all over. I'm going for a mature lady that lets her hair gray naturally rather than trying to hide it. I've been steadily going gray since my early 20s. My hair started turning white right around age 24, 25. And I do have white hairs. They're mostly like on the sides, which get cut short. But there's some of them up here. Occasionally I can see them on camera, but there will need to be more of them for it to be more readily apparent. By the way, this has been a relaxing stream and a good break from writing. Nice. I'm glad that you've had a good time. I don't mind talking about whatever I want to on stream also. Like, that isn't a concern that I have. Like, the streams are just like whatever. Literally, just all we're doing here is like parasocially hanging out. That's all we're doing here. There's no specific goal. But yeah, for the videos themselves, it does seem to like more specificity in your niche. I don't know. I found a gray hair in my beard a few weeks ago and immediately crumbled to dust. Oh no. I'm pretty sure that I've already found a white pube, too. My husband, who's 35, is starting to get white hairs in his chest hair. It's so funny. We're getting old. That's what's happening. We're getting old and we're just vibing through it. It's only vibes. Only vibes. That's got to be somebody's idea for a website to sell vibrators. Only vibes. My hair has started turning absolutely clear. You're a polar bear! You're a polar bear! Yes, exactly. The stupid algo just wants to know which box to put my videos in. Yep. I know. It's so stupid. But like I said, as long as the movie review content... again, it's only trans-specific movie review content that is performing about the same as my trans content previously. So we'll see what happens if I start to try to talk about other types of movie stuff. But yeah, it's going to be exciting to see what happens with the channel in the next couple of years. I feel like going gray is the least bad thing about aging. I think it's one of the cooler things about aging. Okay, y'all, I am going to be on Takis tomorrow, so if any of you want to come hang out, it's at the usual time, which is like 12 p.m. Pacific time and 2 p.m. Central time, US. So yeah, come hang out with us tomorrow. It's going to be Arden and myself doing our thing, and then I have no idea what the rest of the schedule is for the rest of the month, because Arden has not finished the schedule for the rest of the month. But yeah, so with all that in mind, be good. Have a good rest of your day. And I will see y'all tomorrow. And then for our regular stream we have planned on Sunday, as far as I know, that is going to happen as usual. So appreciate y'all. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. And behave. Okay? God. Just behave.